Hello everybody and welcome to the Tardis Zone. Hope to find you all well. We'll have Marty on in a couple of minutes. We'll have Marty on in a couple of minutes, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get him to go through whatever is happening. But I'm just gonna say it out straight. I'm starting to think that all these Reddit rumors are taking the piss out of people. So yeah. I mean, I got message during me game and stream off someone that I've never seen before. I think I seen them pop up in the chat the last couple of days to inform me that there was more Reddit leaks, and I'm starting to think that's what this is all about, to get YouTubers to start talking about stuff. I'm really starting to think that there's someone out there taking the piss. So, yeah. So we'll see what the new rumors are. As I said, I've always said take these with a pinch of salt, and I haven't been taking them seriously myself. But after tonight, we'll see what these latest ones are like or whatever. I might knock it on the head. There's no point of talking about rumors that are clearly being made up. I do believe there is one legit poster. And I do believe the rest are trying to either discredit the person, or someone said in the chat, rehash a lot of the stuff that's already been said. As I said, there's probably one genuine Reddit poster, and the rest of them are just piling in because they've seen this information. And remember, this is what the Jody stands will do anyway. They would go in and then start making up their own, so people don't know what to believe. So we'll bring Marty on and we'll let Marty fill you in on the latest.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Marty.
How are you getting on?
Not too bad. Do you want to fill everybody in on the latest? What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you, I've just been on Gallery Base now. Don't worry, there's not another set of rumors, don't worry. There is something interesting though. Do you remember the post we were talking about that we thought was more likely, the Pete McTeague taking over a show?
Yeah.
It has been removed from Reddit. It's been removed. So whether that's because it's bullshit or whether it's because there's something in it and it has been taken down, it's gone. So
we did leave a link to that one, didn't we?
Well, I've actually got somebody.
So you can check that out yourselves, because I put the link to the original poster, I think, in the video, in the link description of the video, because that's what I've been doing with all it is, except for the one that was obviously on Gallifrey Base. I couldn't, obviously. That's the only one. But all the other Reddit ones, I have put the original links in, because Marty's been kind enough to send me the original links. So check it out, man, and see what it says. It might say post removed by, obviously, the person that posted it, or it could have been removed from. Now, if it's removed from Reddit itself, on the request of someone, well, then there could be something in this. But yeah, that is interesting, Marty. I do see, this is what I do. I'm starting to believe that one of those posters was genuine. Someone got wind of it, and I think there's been a lot of people then going in and either taking the piss out of this person or putting out misinformation deliberately.
Yeah, that seems to be the case at the moment, because I don't know. There's even been. I'll tell you this. There's been guys messaging me on Gallifrey Base now.
Yeah.
I've never in my time. I've been on it now about 4 years, and I've never once had anybody message me about it. And they mentioned me. They mentioned you. Looking to know if we're covering rumors. So I don't know if it was the case where one of these was genuine and to other
Oh, I
people.
think that's what I'm starting to believe, Marky.
Yeah.
I'm starting to believe that maybe one of them Reddit posters, and we've put them all up, guys. So this is what I'm saying. There's something in one of those Reddit posts, I believe. Seriously, and if one is being removed, well, then that adds further to what I said the other night. I do believe that one of these leakers is genuine. I do. I'm actually starting to really think that one of them is genuine, and the others have been deliberately put out there to either give similar information or contradict that person directly. Because you've seen it, even when I was reading, I even said it to you. I said some of the wording of this, it seems to be similar to the wording of another one. And remember, I said to you as well, that could be that person that's putting out the information, taking a direct dig at the person that's put out the original leaks. I'm telling you, I think that, listen, I know for a fact, right, from covering this era, right, and most of you have been with me from that time, right, that during Series 11 and 12, there was problems behind the production, right? What I'm telling you now, right, I reckon there are people that are providing information to these people on Reddit, right? And I do believe that one of them has gotten exactly what's going to happen, and the rest, because the others have caught wind of it, are saying, well, I'm not having that. And the reason why I do believe that's happening, because I do believe that there are still factions within inside that production team that aren't happy with the current direction of the show, right? I do believe that. I still believe there's tension, right? Even BBC Radio covered it. Remember, I even played the clip for you on the channel, right? It's up on the channel. I'll get it out again, and you will see. She said it. There was problems during the production during Series 11, and that carried on into Series 12. And I'm telling you now, those issues, I guarantee, have never been resolved. And I think this is someone with inside the production team that has leaked what's going to happen to let the fans know. And I think the other three, there are people inside the production team that now being given information to other sources now, but misinformation, deliberate misinformation. But to make it seem more there could be something in it, they will agree that all posters agree that Jodie Whittaker is gone. All posters agree that Dan could be staying on Series 14, providing his tour, wherever goes on with that tour, right? So they've gotten those pieces of information, right?
Yeah.
So that's how they sell it. They say, well, they're all similar. They've got that similar bit, so there could be something in this. And that's the way they do it. But Marky, what do you think anyway? I think it is very fascinating.
Well, you do remember that the Timeless Children stuff first appeared on Reddit before it went straight to Gallifrey Base. So
yeah,
it's you can't rule it out. You can't rule it out because it's likely to happen. You know, we people have seen this before and thought it was rubbish, and then realised, you know, this isn't rubbish. Because we all remember when the Timeless Children rumors appeared. Everybody was going bonkers and saying you're talking smack, but they turned out to be true. So as I say, I always thought rumors like that were madness, but it just goes to show you rule nothing out now, because with this era and with this production team and with these writers, anything's likely to happen now. So, you know, even though some of these rumors might come across as absolute,
that's what I mean. You're right. And some of them do come across as absolute nonsense. But this is the Chris Chibnall era. There was a time where we could, like, as I said, sift the complete nonsense rumors to the ones that actually sounded like they had a bit of basis to them. Unfortunately, because of the Timeless Children, because nobody thought he'd actually do that when it was rumored that was going to happen, everybody laughed, including myself. BBC wouldn't do anything that disrespectful. They're not that stupid. But of course, because of that now, even though some of these rumors are absolutely ridiculous, the thing about it is we cannot dismiss them anymore because of what's happened in the past. In the recent past with this era. So, I mean, I do believe, I'm starting to believe, listen, I do believe, I said it, I think there's one legit poster that has gotten everything spot on, that has been given the information. And I think the other 3 or the rest that are coming out of the woodwork are being deliberately sent out. So there is all this misinformation. Because last night I read someone's comment and they basically said all these rumors are starting to make me head spin. And that's exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Want you to get so many pieces of information, because remember, there is a lot. Like, it's very detailed. It's not vague stuff. Like, someone goes into a lot of detail. So I do believe that the poster that Marty is talking about, the one that we said this is more likely. Yeah, I think that's the one that's legit, and I think the others are out there to try discredit. Because listen, someone even made the point as well. Every day there seems to be new rumors now coming from Red, and that's deliberate, folks. That's deliberate. That's being done deliberately. That's not an accident. There's forces behind the scenes that are making sure that fans don't know what's true and what is.
See, the case could be, what I'm thinking is, if this post came out and this post was accurate, what if they said that someone within Cardiff seen this and heard about this and said, right, we need to start diverting the attention away from this? And what if, this is just hypothetical, but what if they sent 3 or 4 people from the production team and said, or researchers, and said, right, get on there, come out whatever crap you want, and just divert the attention away from this while we get it sorted. And now, as you see, that post has disappeared.
Yeah. And I see there are a few people in the chat say that they don't care anymore. And I understand that, because they're here now watching me talking about the rumors. See, even though deep down you are done, right, and you don't care anymore, you actually do still care a little bit. That's why you are here tonight listening to me talking about these rumors, because you still do care a little bit. Now, we all do. That's the thing. We can deny to ourselves that, that we don't care anymore. Deep down, we still do. That's why we're here week in, week out, doing these streams, talking about it, because we still do care, right? Now, these latest rumors, all I'll just say is that, I want Chris Chibnall, the one where we say Chris Chibnall's gone at the end of series, though. That's the rumors that I want to be true, because he has to go. He has to. This is not about Jodie Whittaker anymore. This is about him, and he's writing to him, and they have to go. A clean slate. That was mentioned in the room. Clean slate. That's what we need. We need a clean slate. So,
and the more I, people are saying, "Oh, Pete McTeague, what the hell does he know?" I was chatting to a cousin of mine the other day, and I mentioned you, and I mentioned the rumors and all, and I mentioned Pete McTeague, and he said he used to watch Pete McTeague's show, that Wentworth Prison, set in Australia, and he said it's brilliant.
It is brilliant. It is. I've watched a couple of episodes. It's epic, man. I never thought that. No disrespect to that side of the water, but I didn't think, because when I watch New Zealand or Australian stuff, I just can't get into it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the accent that I don't know, or maybe it's just the acting. But this is well acted, Marty. Mm-hmm. It's even all the characters, and there's some sinister characters in it, man. And you just want them to get that come up. And it is a great show. It is.
So, and even the stuff, I actually went there earlier on this morning and watched the trailers for the Blu-ray box sets. I think he wrote all of them with Sylvester McCoy and Colin Baker. And they're actually decent. They are decent.
He did. So, here's the thing. Last year, when Chris Chibnall disappeared an act, Pete McTeague did the trailer for the Blu-ray box set, the Sylvester McCoy one, where he brought Ace back, did that little trailer, as you said, and he done a couple of other things. That's the showrunner's job. And the new showrunner, when the showrunner is there, that's who normally does it. But Chris Chibnall didn't do it. Yeah. It was left down to Pete McTeague. To me, yes, he would be the natural successor to Chibnall or Matt Stevens. Now, if we got Matt Stevens, we're in serious trouble.
Yeah, I think.
Just let you know, if you think Chibnall is bad, right? I watched a show called Misfits, and when Stevens took over as the executive producer, it went down in quality straight away. I'm telling you, he's like the rest of them. He just can't keep politics.
But Matt Stevens, sort of with me wanting to be a producer, Matt Stevens' job is what I strive for. Uh,
Yeah,
years to
well,
come.
we'd rather have you there because at least we know if you were there, if fans had complaints, you'd listen at least anyway. You might tell us to go and fuck off, but at least you listen. That's the point. These people won't even listen to us. That's the
You
thing.
see, I would actually come out and tell you to fuck off. I wouldn't hide behind and say nothing. I would say it.
Exactly. Do you know, I'd have more respect for you then. Oh, you're talking out your arse now. All right, then tell me why I'm talking out my arse then and have a debate about it. That's the way it should be. I mean, Christian now got that opportunity, right? And I know he's tried to bury that clip where he goes after Pip and Jane Baker. But as a fan, right, and he might be an arrogant little twat, but as a fan, he had a right to ask those questions. We might not like the way he framed them or what he said, the way he criticized, the whole lot of being mundane and all of this and just running down silly carpet. Now he's done the same himself. But he's tried to bury that, but he's still got the opportunity. He still got the opportunity to have his say. No matter what we think of him, he might have been a twat, or people back then might have thought he was a bit of a twat. Well, who's this guy? Who the hell does he think he is trying to tell us what Doctor Who should be? But he's still got that opportunity. We don't. We're told it's not a democracy. We're told it's none of, we're not, while they're in charge, they'll do it the way they do it, and there's nothing we can do about it. That's not how you run a show.
Yeah.
It's not how you run a shop. Back to these rumors, though, Marty. I mean, there's so much stuff out there, right? That I've had a couple of days, obviously, like yourself, to kind of go through it all.
Yeah.
And, reading it, I'm telling you, I can definitely say without a shadow of a doubt, there's one thing I am sure of. I do believe that one of those Reddit posts was legit.
Yeah.
I do believe that. Now, which one? Could it be the one that's being taken down?
I have my money. If I was a betting man, I think, that information that came out, and when you stack it up against all of them, it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Logically, and now it's disappeared. Whether I still don't know if it's disappeared, whether it's been removed by the poster or Reddit have removed it. So I don't know if anybody knows. Could they double check that for me? Because I'm not sure whether it's been removed because Reddit have taken it down or because the poster's taken it down.
Does it not say who see, like, oh no, the only person that would know that was taken down is the Reddit user, and they'd give a reason.
I will get the link. Give me 2 seconds. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get the link that I sent to you, and
yeah, but it's not going to tell me who removed it.
No.
That's the thing. See, if I ordered the account, then obviously it would, because then they'd get an email. So the person that owns the account is the only one that can actually let us know whether it was removed or they removed it themselves because they were getting too much stick. See, I have to put that out there as well. One of these Reddit, the one that's been taken down, this person could have took it down as well, for the simple fact is he's probably getting an awful lot of abuse. Remember, right, it's become a very dangerous thing right now in this fandom to do stuff like this and to talk about stuff like this. You've seen what's happened to me. We're not allowed to even move an inch before someone's coming out and criticizing, saying that I'm putting misinformation out there. It's the same on all these forums. Someone will put a bit of news in, and you'll get people that will genuinely engage, and they'll listen, and they will take it with a grain of salt. But unfortunately, there are some in this fandom that refuse or don't understand the difference between fact and rumor, don't understand this, and then attack anybody that puts out this sort of information. So, that could be another factor why this Reddit user took down that post. So I have to cover all bases here, because I'll be accused of being biased and all of this, right? Or the fact that this poster was legit. As I said, I do believe that one of them out of the four. Listen, when they start, this is why I started to sit up and take notice. When the first Reddit poster came, and then the next day there was another one, then the next day there was another one, and next day there was another one. And I thought, well,
It
why is that happening, right? So obviously, logically, I thought of all the different things, and the only logical conclusion that I could think of is the fact that one of these posts is legit. It has to be, because
it
this is the tactic they use, isn't it, Marty? This is the kind of tactic a studio or art would use if a piece of information gets out there and it happens to be true, but they don't want to panic, right? They don't want to make it so obvious that, because if BBC went and took down, say, my video on it, right?
yeah
Then we know then there's something in it. But the fact that they do it on Reddit or these forums, it's better that way, because they can bury it. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to know
yeah
who post down. So I'm telling you, man, I do believe one of these is legit. But Marky, go on.
it's I just seen here it says it's been removed by the poster, but you know, there's- as I say, you know, I know, like from I know I haven't got that much experience in the media television industry, but you know, I would say that would be a tactic, because you remember all the rumors that were flying around about Series 11. Do you remember all the leaks and whatnot that were coming out
Yeah.
when the series aired? And about, do you at least remember Percy the cat, that she was going to have a cat? And all these different rumors. So I think that's sort of what's happened here. My theory on it is that the poster came out. That post was true, or at least the majority of it was true. I do think Pete McTeague is in line to take it over. It's going to be interesting to see, because that poster said that Pete McTeague has a new drama coming out now shortly, and it's going to be announced either during that or after it. So if that pans out, then the rest of the
Well,
stuff could be true. Like.
yeah, actually, hold on. We might be able to Google that. So, well, I suppose though the poster could do the same. So I have to make that again. I'm covering all bases here, because I don't want people thinking that I'm biased.
Yeah, new drama, The Pact. The last word. BBC Wales as well made it. So there you go. Uh, BBC Wales made that drama. So female-led crime thriller for the BBC.
Well, he
Uh,
joined the second season of obviously Discovery of Witches,
yeah,
um, and
I
there's
don't.
nothing else past. The last article was September 2020 on him. So
Yeah,
there's nothing floating about yet. Oh, hold on. New BBC crime drama filmed in Wales. Hold on, what's this now? 1 week ago.
I'll check his Twitter here to see if there's anything interesting on it. Uh, but no, he is.
Yeah,
He,
it's called The Pact. It's
yeah,
called The Pact. And is he? Hold on, Pete McTeague. Yeah, it's written and created by
Pete
Pete
McTeague. Yeah.
McTeague. So there you go. He does have a new show coming out. Now, in fairness, I will point this out. The Reddit poster could have very easily done the same thing, right? But this Reddit poster did say that Pete McTeague did have a new show coming out. So I'll leave it to you to decide yourselves. But that's the post that's being taken down. And it's very interesting there that the only article on it is a BBC Wales article. So unless you were actually looking for it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Is so
it seems like if the post is crap, and this person actually went to the effort of researching Pete McTeague and all to make things seem like they line up, it's a bit sad. Like it's a bit of a sad thing to do if
it
you're.
was, but again, we can't rule that out, because there
Yeah,
are unfortunately sad individuals out there. But listen, it's up to you ourselves. You'll have to make up your own mind. But this really does,
I'd
I mean,
say somebody wrote in the chat there about your source. Have you mentioned it with them now, or?
yeah. Oh, the Reddit rumors. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course. But see, there's so much information, and there's so many posts that what you call it's a lot of information. So they're obviously, these sources are trying to either see if there's anything in these.
Uh,
I
it's,
am told though, I was told though, not to dismiss everything that's coming out of that site.
so there you go. There
So
you
it's been look, it has a track record anyway. I don't need to tell people that. Reddit has a track record for this. So does Gallifrey Base. There have been leakers. That's where they prefer to go. They prefer to go to these forums, and then they leave it to other fans then to spread the word. But yeah, I've looked into it. I was supposed to have someone on today as well that was going to talk a little bit more about the rumor. Someone that actually is all know that gets embargoed information was supposed to come on, but that didn't happen unfortunately. So we have to rearrange that for a different time. But yeah, I'm trying to get down to the bottom of all it is. But like you ourselves, and if you look at the other people that are doing these sort of videos that have sources, they're not saying much either. Nobody's saying much. So what I've done with all the information is I've basically handed it all over to me sources. Now what they'll do is they'll go through it all, and then obviously then they go and ask who they are in the know with, the questions to what I've sent them, and then I'll come back. I'll get the answers that we need, hopefully. But
Yeah, somebody actually managed to save that post from Reddit. That one was taken down. It's up on Gallifrey Base now. Suppose the handy thing is about Gallifrey Base. I think that's why a lot of stuff leaks on it. They can't, unless you have the account and get in it, you can't actually, as I say, you can't just click in it unless you have an account. So a lot of stuff that leaks on there ends up staying there. It doesn't really disappear.
I never give away my sources.
Yeah,
Nobody knows who my sources are. Nobody will know who my
yeah.
sources are.
Uh,
Eddie Ascaro from Talk the Doctor. As we have openly discussed on this channel, on his channel, we do have one source in common. And what you call it, we have our own other sources as well. But on top of that, Eddie has a bit of an edge though, because when there is a big announcement, as you know, Eddie has gotten embargoed information in the past. So when there is a big announcement to be made, Eddie will know. He'll either know a few hours beforehand, a day beforehand, or it could be 40 minutes, half an hour beforehand. Sometimes, they might drop it on their laps the last second. So it doesn't, you know what I mean? So people can't digest it all fully straight away. So look, I mean, the Eddie sources I know are looking into this. I think he's already thrown up some stuff on Twitter about it. And we were going to be streaming today. That's who I was bringing on, actually. I don't know why I'm keeping it a secret, actually. Everybody knows Eddie. So I was going to bring Eddie on because not our source in common, but another one of his sources actually, I think, has addressed some of these latest rumors coming from Reddit. Now, we were supposed to do him, but he's very busy with interviews. We had got it arranged for Wednesday, but he wanted to do it, I think, yesterday, but because it was my day off, and that's the agreement I have, because I stream Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, I mean, at least spend 2 bloody nights with the wife. So, so I'll rearrange it. But look, there's nothing coming. There's nothing really. See, Reddit, there's stuff coming out, but there's nothing coming from our sources. Nothing that we can say to you. Yeah, here, look, this is what's happening. So we just have to wait and see. Look, this happens, right? You'll get news coming out of other places, and this is what happens. Then it gets handed over. And this is the way we've done things. It's rubbed a few people up the wrong way before in the past, but that's how it's done. If new information comes out, of course I'm going to hand it over to all my sources. You'd be stupid not to, so they can actually go then and talk to the people that they know to find out what the hell is going on. So that's what I've done. So whenever I find out, and listen, sometimes they get back to me straight away, right? And then other times it takes a few weeks. So whenever I know and that's why I haven't mentioned my source, because until I know I'll let you know then. Yeah, don't worry about that. As I told you, I get, I'll let you know if it's from Marty. I'll let you know if it's from the sources. I'll let you know. Just right now, as they would say, it's a slow day in the office, even though there is these Reddit leaks, and there could be someone that has decided to say, F it, I'm going to leak everything. And it's throwing everything into the... And remember as well, a lot of sources will receive information as well and not give it to you straight away. For the simple fact is that it could be plant information, it could be bogus information put out there by the BBC or the production team to find out who the leak is. So again,
that's the thing,
Go ahead.
Can't say everything because, as you say, Lair, about bogus. Even though I don't have any sources, I have spoken to somebody on Twitter 4 weeks ago who told me that Barman was filming it for Series 13. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I'm just saying it. But, as you say, there could be a lot of bogus crap out there, if one person's told that bogus crap and that person goes to say your source, and your source goes to you, and you put that out, if they find that out, well, they'll know that bogus crap has gone out, and then that person, whoever it is that came out with it, will get the sack. They'll get the sack because they'll be able to pinpoint then who came out with the rubbish, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They'll be able to pinpoint it then. So it's you're obviously right not to be saying who sources are, I think, because at the end of the day, it's somebody's job, it's somebody's livelihood, and
that's it. That's what I mean. And these people don't understand. You know what I mean? And then they're saying I'm making up stuff. Listen, if I could reveal my sources, right, and my sources could reveal themselves with no consequences, then they would most happily do so. Trust me. But no, there's too much, and if people don't understand that now, Eddie recently came out with his source info, as Charlotte just said there. It was so condensed. So a relaunch. We did talk about a relaunch before a few months back. So Eddie is kind of confirming what we've spoke about. So there again, it was either a slight reboot or a relaunch. So I mean, look. There's so many and exit plans for chips. See, again, 2 pieces of that source information say that he's gone. And then there's 2 pieces that say he's staying till the fucking 60th.
Yeah.
No, one saying he's staying to oversee the transition from Series 13 to 14, and then he's going to leave.
And there's one of them saying that he's...
And one is saying that he's staying until the bloody 60th, right?
Yeah.
And then 2 of them are saying that he is going. So
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. And listen, I was told it was 50-50 that Chris Chibnall be gone. And I know that's a bit of a cop-out, but at this stage, I think everything is right now 50-50. I don't know why it is. I think BBC should just make the decision. Listen, he's just not good enough. Right, these are hoping that Series 13 or Series 14 or whatever, what we on Series 14, somehow becomes this miracle series. Or Series 13, what we on? Series 13, sorry, we are on Series 13. I'm skipping the bleeding head, right? Series 13, right? They think that this new series is going to be somehow the savior series. By the way, I'm hearing things. Or, as I said, BBC, like Manchester United, have basically lowered their standards and just won't, and are happy, and they shouldn't be. I wouldn't be happy with 57% of my audience gone. Actually, it's probably a little slightly bit higher than that, but 57% of your audience, and it doesn't matter whether that's newbies, old fans, or the general public, you still lost 57%. You can't spin that. So the BBC really need to do something. Chris Chibnall has to go. Now, 2 pieces of info. See, that post that was taken down said that Chibnall was gone.
Yeah. That the story
right?
was that he had signed on for 5 years,
5 years,
and
yeah,
that not 5 series, and that
5 years, yeah.
the
So that
story
was the
would be told over
conclusion.
3 series, and the story reaches its natural conclusion at the end of series 13.
See, that's the one I actually do believe, man, because
Yeah,
even Charlotte said it. Why would you drag out the timeless child story arc until, say, next season or the season up till the sixth? Why would you want to drag? If you drag that out, right, you're going to lose your audience. You've already lost 57%. That tells you all you need to know. The audience don't like this, BBC. Does not get it. The audience don't like it. That's why 57% have walked away. They're bored,
yeah.
right? Because some people don't want the origins. And apparently this is supposed to revitalize the whole thing. Will you get it hasn't revitalized that, and all you've done is caused a heartache and divide in the fandom. That's all you've done. And for what? To be the man that reaffirms. We already know Doctor Who, right? Who is the Doctor? We still didn't know who the Doctor really was, except that he was from Gallifrey. We were learning little bits about his childhood, but not much, just enough. So we
It's,
were actually okay. BBC, Chris Chibnally's didn't need to revitalise the whole, where is he from, Doctor Who? We already know. We're already happy with the way it is. All we want is our sci-fi fucking adventures, right?
canon should not be touched. I would be the kind of guy. My opinion on that is, if you're going to say anything about canon, leave it to the anniversary. I wouldn't start fiddling with it, And even if you are like, you don't have to start changing it.
There's no need to mess with canon, though.
If you
Why?
want to start bringing in, Time Lords and whatnot, all right, have it maybe in the anniversary special that the Doctor goes to Gallifrey for part of the episode. Like if that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to do with the Time Lord,
Marty, they could have a Time Lord. The Time Lord, if they wanted to bring the Time Lords back, they could easily do it. You bring back Paul McGann as the Eighth Doctor, and you
yeah,
have the bloody Time War series, and then you have Time Lords when they were at the footing of what you could start from the beginning, how the Time War actually started in the first bloody place,
yeah.
right? Go through and explain the whole lot. Show the change from the Time Lords from being these dusty old philosophers to being these warmongers because they had to, obviously, to protect their planet, right? You show that. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. If you want to address that, do it in a spin-off.
It's I think even if you turn away from canon and look at the Time Lords in general, they've been brought back and killed off that many times now that they've
Yeah,
sort of cheapened. They've been cheapened. Whereas, like in the terms of the Tennant era, I know Russell brought them back, like, but I always think of that monologue that Tennant done during the series 3 finale, where he starts chatting to Jack and Martha about the Time Lords.
yeah,
And if just say in another world where, say, somehow they were brought back after the end of time and they did end up staying in the universe, that would have been the perfect opportunity. Instead of going destroying them again and whatnot, you could have had it where maybe every 3 or 4 series the Doctor has to go to Gallifrey, or he's called to Gallifrey for something.
yeah.
They could still be
I
there.
think Russell T has said that that's the biggest regret of his era, is not actually bringing Gallifrey back properly.
Yeah.
And I'd have to agree. I don't know why he created this whole thing with the Time War arc, just to, like, we knew there was a war, but why he used that to kind of explain away why the Time Lords or Gallifreyans, wherever you want to call them, weren't present anymore. Like, I kind of got it because it made the Doctor a bit more vulnerable. He'd lost his people, so Christopher
And it was
Eccleston
sort of a
perfect, but
it was sort of a way to fill the gap too. You could say, from the likes of, some people have, maybe it's like a wee thing in their head where people could say, well, this is what went on from 96 till 2005. This is what
yeah,
went on. Uh,
yeah,
and I think that was sort of his intention for it. But, I still think that I know I love the Russell's era. Like, there is some bad episodes, but I can't fault it. It's the one I grew up with.
yeah,
I still think that they should have left the Time Lords coming back. They should have brought them back. I think, in the 50th. They should have brought them back properly and have them
Yeah.
and just have them in the background, but don't have them interfere. Maybe that's to say, maybe every second or third series he's called to Gallifrey or something like that because there's something going on, or the Time Lords have
Yeah,
to
I
step.
agree. That would have worked. I agree with you. But again, I mean, I don't blame Russell. He did a lot of good.
Yeah, I know. I know.
He probably thought it'd be, and maybe BBC at the time probably thought it was a bit expensive to bring the back right at the start, which it
Yeah,
would have been if you think about it, because, I mean, didn't they went over budget and all in the four series, and Russell T, a lot depended. I remember the interviews and all, and still to this day, even when you look back on the box set interviews, they'll even say there was a lot riding on that series of Doctor Who. If that series of Doctor Who in 2005 hadn't been a hit, that
yeah.
was it. BBC were gonna pull the plug. They weren't going to.
That
This
was the
was the
thing.
once off, and when the first episode rose, just blew up. And it's not the greatest story. I have to be honest. It's not. I mean, those bleeding Auton rip-offs. I mean, for the first episode, right? If you're trying to get new fans reintroduced to introduce the Doctor Who, to do that story on your first story, but while making it a companion episode, is very brave, I think.
It's
And I
bold,
think
really.
that's why people warmed to Russell T. He was willing to take the risks when they were when they were justified. And look, I'll always be thankful to him for bringing back Doctor Who. I
Yeah.
cried like a baby when I found out it was coming back, and my wish was that it just reignite my childhood again, right? And remember, I was in my 20s at the time, so early 20s, so I'm still a kind of a baby. But I had a rough over the last few years, so I was just hoping and praying that and when I seen that title sequence and I heard the music and I just seen the TARDIS, I seriously, I was hooked. I was hooked, and then see Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor. I wasn't too sure on the costume, I have to be honest. I was kind of like, here, this just looks like normal clothes. What's the story there? But the costume grew on me, but his Doctor also grew on me. I mean, listen, by the second episode, I was sold on him. He played it well, because I remember a lot of people. I don't know about you, Marty, if you remember, but a lot of people at the time when he was cast and he was announced, they were like, he's not going to be good as the Doctor. He's going to be too serious. This is what it was. He's going to be too serious. He can't. He's not. He can't. He doesn't have natural comedic time, and he's not a comedian. That's what was the biggest.
I
They put him in the Doctor dances and him pulling the faces and all. I mean, from even the first episode, he was funny. He was funny. He proved a lot of people wrong. Actually, a lot of people were made eat their words after that first episode. But the Doctor dances and that two-parter, the empty child and Doctor dances. I mean, he's so funny in those two episodes. There's some moments in that which are brilliant with him and Jack. So yeah, I mean, look, it's an interesting time for Doctor Who. The rumors, I have to be honest, that these Reddit leaks were now, I don't think anybody would. I've noticed there is a drop off. Especially with the new Who watch alongs. But with the classic Who, there's an appetite for them. The numbers on them are great. But the new Who, even though we're on Series 4, I don't know, maybe new Who, unfortunately, the rest of it, classic Who was originally for some years, was tainted by this timeless children stuff. But I'd say to you, listen, you have to try. I know it's hard, but you just have to try separate that. I mean, some of you believe that this era is not canon. So with that way of thinking, you should be able to enjoy it's the new. And I'm seeing that people are struggling, and it makes me sad. It really does, because we all come together, right? I wouldn't know Marty, I wouldn't know Lee, I wouldn't know Charlotte, Daniel, I wouldn't know any of you. if it wasn't for this show, you know. And it makes me
Have something on
disappear
here.
because I see people disappearing, and it's sad because it's too painful. So they don't even come back to the streams, and that's sad when I just see people walk away. But I can understand it. But go ahead, Marty, because I think I've talked enough tonight.
You're grand. Don't worry about it. Uh, I've just seen something on Gallery Base, which might be a wee bit of a talking point for the next bit for you.
Right, well,
Someone has wrote on this. It's not a rumor or anything, but
right.
it is interesting. It backs up what you were saying earlier on. Uh, Talking the discussion sort of moved to like behind the scenes rumors about behind the scenes and stuff like that. What went on? But anyway, this guy has wrote. Talking of behind the scenes shenanigans, I was told what caused the issues of a couple of years ago when filming in Series 12 was apparently delayed. Without going into the specifics, it was an interesting reminder to Chibnall who was the boss by the BBC.
Wow.
So Chibnall might have been wanting something that the BBC. He was probably trying for something the BBC just had to put him in the line. So going with that.
Listen. We spoke about this Jordan chaos in Cardiff. We were told at the time that there was something he wanted to do, right? Now, there was speculation out there, but it was never confirmed by the sources 100%. But there was talk that he wanted to bring Rose back. Now, apparently the storyline was going to be, obviously we all know Rose is in love with the Doctor. So apparently he was going to explore the Doctor's sexuality, as we have actually spoken about now in the new rumors, where they say they're going to bring in a guest star to explore Jodie Whittaker's. It's not going to be Monique Gill like all the shippers want. They're going to bring someone else in. Now the rumor was that it was supposed to be Rose now last year. So he seems to come up with ideas. It was the same Jordan Series 11. There was rumors that there was certain villains back, right? And then last minute they didn't appear, but they appeared in Series 12, right? Seems to be the same. A lot was rumored Jordan Series 12, certain villains, certain companions returning, and it never happened. But then it always happens the season after. It was the same with all the Captain Jack stuff. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We were all speculating Jordan Series 11 that he was actually going to come back. Right, then he turns up in Series. He turns up in the festive special. No, not this festive special. He turned up in Series 12, and then the recent festive special. So I'm not saying he's going to bring her back. Right, this is just me kind of trying to explain to you what I think what was going to happen, and I think he was going to explore that side. Would Rose still love the Doctor, even though the Doctor was now a woman? And I think there were people that were opposed to that. There was supposed to be even a line shouted at Chris Chibnall, Rose isn't lesbian. You can't do that, Chris. Right? That's what we were told during Chaos in Cardiff. Listen, I covered Chaos in Cardiff on this channel extensively. Right? I found the BBC radio audio thanks to someone, I think it was Marty actually, it might have been you, that actually put me onto that clip, because Marty was also glued into this as well. We were talking about this when Chaos in Cardiff. I covered this extensively, right? And there's deniers out there still to this day, right? I'm telling you now, right, with the BBC radio interview with Tolson Cole saying those things, with Manip Gill changing her Instagram Instagram bio twice. First, I had Time Traveler, then Time Traveler was gone, right? There was a lot of stuff. I'm telling you now, people were going to, right? It's never been, it was never confirmed, but I'm just speculating here. I guarantee you, man, that most of that cast and crew probably were handing in their P45s and had enough, right? Because looking now, Tolson Cole and Bradley Walsh have now decided that they're gone. What if it wasn't just the Chaos in Cardiff was so bad that everybody was going to give up quick, right? Because I was told then he was convinced to come back, Chris Chibnall. After a week or two, he came back. Apparently, they all sat down, had a meeting. They discussed all this on the channel, Jordan Chaos in Cardiff. They had a meeting, sang Kumbaya. They didn't really sing Kumbaya, but and they sorted out apparently the issues. But I don't think the issues have been sorted out because the simple reason is Tolson Cole and Bradley Walsh are now gone. There was no indication that they were going to be going at all during Series 11. And certainly in Series 12, if you look at it, yeah, Tolson didn't look like he was bothered. But by looking at that series, there was no indicators that they were really going to be leaving. And then all of a sudden, then it was announced they were going to be leaving. I'm telling you now, that Chaos in Cardiff, and I will come out in a few years' time, and I will be vindicated because I got a lot of stick over that, especially off people on social media. I got a lot of stick over that. I know that will be eventually. There's stuff like this. Look at all the stuff about JNT, right? All the things that went on behind the scenes came out years later. Now, some people still deny it to this day, and other people say, no, this is what it was like working and all of this, right? And BBC had his hands tied behind his back and all of this and whatever, right? It all happens. It comes out. And I know Chaos in Cardiff will eventually. It will. And you know what the funny thing is? A lot of people did believe it, but then as soon as a couple of people spoke up and said, no, it's not true, then people turned on me and then those people went into line and then started agreeing with them, whereas I never backed down. I'm telling you now, Chaos in Cardiff did happen. I know for a fact it happened because there's so much evidence to back it up, right? Where was Chris Chibnall? Why would BBC Radio say that there was problems during the production of Series 11, and they carried on? And this is what the DJ says on the radio, on BBC Radio, and it carried on into Series 12's production. This era of Doctor Who, whether people like it or not that support this era, the production side of this has been rocky from day one, and I don't think all the issues have been fully resolved. And you know what I think it is? I think it's got to do with a lot with what Chris Chibnall is trying to do, because I'm telling you now, there are hardcore Doctor Who people in there still, right? And they don't like the direction. We were told that as well. They don't like the direction the show is going in, right? Behind the scenes, there are people not happy. Why do you think the last piece of information that we talked about, where they said he had to tidy up and leave the show in a good state, right? They wouldn't be saying stuff like that if they were happy with the show. So they can come out and say that they're happy with it and that the ratings mightn't be what they thought they'd be, but they're not that bad. They can continue thinking like that if they want to, right? But what's going to end up, I'm telling you, I can see it. The longer Chris Chibnall stays in this job with that writing team, right, everything, the numbers are going to keep going down. And they will keep going down. And these fans could be in denial and say, no, well, he's bringing back the Sultan's Weeping Angels and all that. That's still not going to save the show. You could bring back as many member berries as you want. Fans are not falling for it anymore. We're not falling for that stuff anymore. That doesn't work anymore, right? Those member berries don't cover up the shit writing, right? So you get either Chris Chibnall gets his act together and gives us a series that we can say, yeah, okay, that's Doctor Who. Well done. It's took you 5 years, but well done. After 3 series, you've done it, right? You just give us at least one good series, will you, man? Jesus Christ, it's not that much to ask. And go out on the high, if it is a high for you. Go out on the high then. Hold your head up, take over Torchwood and leave Doctor Who to the experts. Yeah. Jesus. Marty, I don't know. I mean, look, I don't know what you think Doctor Who's future is going to be like. No matter, with all these rumors, I know which set of rumors we'd like to believe. But if it goes any of the other 3 posters way, then this show is screwed, isn't it?
I think I'm gonna say it, you know. I'm willing to put my money behind that one that we think is more likely to happen. And this is it, folks. The future of Doctor Who, be it permanently, temporarily, whatever way you want to put it, uh, may well lie within Pete McTeague's lap now. If it is true, they're going to look at him, and if he can't rescue the show from where it is, well, we're heading back in hiatus.
Yeah,
Simple. We're heading on hiatus.
yeah, I agree.
If he's the man that takes it into the 60th anniversary, which I'm hoping he is, uh, the only thing I'll say about him is that everything that he has written. I know his episode Kerblam was the only one out of Series 11 that I liked. Praxeus was all right. It wasn't the best thing in the world, but the stuff that he's written with the classic Doctors and Companions has been brilliant, even though they are shorts. Uh, so, Pete McTeague, if that post is right, he is the man. He is the future of Doctor Who hangs firmly within his lap. If he's the guy if it is true that post, and he is the guy that's taken over. But what I will say about him is that I do have more faith in him than I do Chibnall. I know people are probably saying, "What do you mean by that?" But I do. The stuff that he has done,
Well, it's far better than what bleeding
yeah,
Chibnall's done.
it's
So,
far
I
better
mean,
than.
that's already a plus.
I mean,
So
it's no RTD but it is good. Like, it is good. So I think that I do have a lot more hope for him than I do for Chibnall. Anyway, I can tell you that.
right, well, hold on, because you know what? See, Marty, they might have removed the post, but you see, Marty's been very clever because not only has he been sending me links to these rumors, he's also been sending me the screenshots. So I'm trying to find the one where here it is. Right. So I actually have the rumor that myself and Marty actually think has some basis to it and also has been taken down. So a reminder to the people out there that this is all always rumor and speculation. But for people that didn't hear it the first time, that haven't heard this, there might be some people that haven't heard this. Here's is our opportunity now to hear what this poster said. Now, this poster has removed the poster. And as I said, after this poster, then we had other posts coming out directly contradicting this person. So this is why I do. And look, they mentioned Pete McTeague's show, and we checked it there. I mean, there is. It's called The Pact, and it's coming out soon. So they seem to be spot on. So here we go. I know you are probably sick of reading leaks, but here is what I've heard about the future of Doctor Who. And of course, they say spoilers. I know you have no reason to believe me over any other leaker, but I have trusted sources close to the production who tell a very different story than what has recently been relayed in this subreddit. And I would like to just clarify a few things. Take it with a grain of salt if you must, but I have complete faith in my sources. So this person is going all out, as you can tell, because they say they have. And anybody that says they have complete faith in their sources, like I have complete faith in my sources. Listen, my sources, as we know, no source gets everything 100% spot on, unless they're right there in the room, But if they have faith in their sources, that's it's. I'm not saying it's enough for me to say yeah, but I would sit up and take notice of them. So this is what I know they say. Contrary to recent reports, Chris Chibnall will be in fact stepping down after Series 13. When this is confirmed, certain folks will no doubt spin it as firing, but this has always been the plan. Chris signed on to tell a specific story across 3 series, and that story will reach its natural conclusion at the end of Series 13. I can see how the China deal might have caused some confusion, but Chris signed on for 5 years, not 5 series, with an understanding that he would help the BBC find a suitable successor, and found him he has. Chris officially made the offer to Pete Mitigue earlier last year. The announcement of his appointment is currently due to be made in the spring, around the time that Pete Mitigue's new BBC drama The Pact airs, and the show was called The Pact. Now, I just want to say something though, right before I go on. In this line, he says, and Chris officially made him the offer to Pete early last year. Well, Chaos in Cardiff happened early last year. Just wanted to throw that out. No. Was it last year? No, it wasn't. It was the year before. Sorry.
2018, yeah, so this was
No,
what?
Jordan Series 11. And yeah, it was. It was Series 11 and 12. So yeah, could be possible. Just saying. Just saying. So here we go. Like his predecessors, the new showrunner made it clear to the incumbent doctor that he would like her to stay on for a series. But like David and Peter, Jodie has decided to leave with her showrunner and give the new production team a clean slate. Now, if Jodie Whittaker has said that, I'm going to say kudos to Jodie Whittaker, because you're absolutely right. I do believe that if Chris is leaving, you should definitely leave with him and let the new man or new woman or whoever is the new showrunner to start with a clean slate. I absolutely agree with that 100%. So if she has actually said that, kudos to Jodie Whittaker. However, Pete has made it clear that he would like her to return for the 60th anniversary, which he pitched to the BBC alongside his plans for Series 14, to which Jodie expressed interest in returning should she be available when the special airs, is what they were supposed to say, but he didn't put airs in, which I must again stress is still in the very early stages of development. Finally goes into production. I hear that Pete's plans for the episode are very ambitious, with him planning on making offers to all of the new Who Doctors. Although he doubts all 5 of them will accept, nevertheless, it has been sold to BBC executives as the 5 Doctors, to the Day of the Doctor, the 3 Doctors. Now for some details on Series 13. Going to that, by the way, we did talk about my source information, where we were originally told they were considering a multi-doctor story, but then we were told then there was a possibility that they might want to move away from that and actually do a multi-master story instead. But it looks like the multi-doctor story has surfaced again. But we were told there was a chance of that happening. So again, would you guys in the chat, while I read the rest of it out, just throw you our comments up there? Would you guys in the chat prefer a multi-doctor story again? Or would you, like me, I'd like something new. Why not a multi-master story? You know? So here are the details on Series 13. The opener is a 2-part story taking place in 2 different time frames, like Spyfall, with the Sontaran plot spanning present-day Liverpool and the Crimean War. Well, that would make sense. There are 3 guest writers. Actually, that makes sense, because we've seen images of the Crimean War, and they looked like they did look like there were aliens there, but because they were so far away, we couldn't see them. Maybe they were the Sontarans. So then again, there you go again. That's something that this poster, I have to say, the more I read this, the more sounds plausible. Marty is right. There are 3 guest writers: Ed Heim, which we mentioned on this channel, Maxine Alderton, which I did a video on this channel, and Pete Mitigue, who I also spoke about on this channel, all contributing scripts. The rest, the 2-part premiere, the 2-part finale, and the subsequent festive special are, of course, written by Chris Chibnall. The two-part finale wraps up the Timeless Child arc and sees the departure of Yaz, with Dan staying on an episode longer before exiting with Jodie in the festive special. As in tradition, at this point, Chibnall is keen to bring back the Force face this face saw in the form of a brief Ryan and Graham cameo as they bid farewell to the Doc, but this all depends on scheduling. The series finale is intended to be epic in scope and scale, bringing back the Cyber Masters and Sacha Dhawan's Master, as well as Captain Jack and the Fugitive Doctor, in a story that leans heavily on Gallifreyan lore. Rassilon and Tectoyum will play into proceedings, as will the Division, with viewers finally being given answers to many of the burning questions, although anyone who hopes to find out what lies beyond the boundary will end up disappointed. Chibnall has no desire to explain the Doctor's origin. In fact, the mission statement of his era was to recontextualize the mystery surrounding the Doctor, never to diminish it. This is part of the reason why he was hired in the first place. With all of the heavy lore stuff out of the way, the festive special is intended to be a bit more personal and introspective tale. This episode will complete Chibnall's Dalek trilogy. We are all the Daleks again, Jesus. With Jodie will compete Chibnall's Daleks trilogy, with Jodie coming face to face with Davros, played by Julian Bleach. Parallels will be drawn between the Doctor and her archenemy, both having birthed mighty warrior races from their own cells. Jack Robertson will also return one final time in another comedic role. Regarding the casting of the 14th Doctor, auditions are quietly underway, with the BBC primarily eyeing BAME actors for the role. They would prefer to cast another woman, but are open to casting a male person of colour. Series 14 is currently set to enter production early next year, with the intention to kick off the series on New Year's Day 2023. A huge marketing push will accompany the launch, with the anniversary being treated as a year-long event as opposed to one specific day when the aforementioned special airs. The BBC are also seriously considering moving the series back to Saturday with the start of the new era, but this is subject to change. So yeah, that is everything I know. Believe it or not, believe it or don't, time will tell.
That's it.
And they're the rumors that we reckon do have some.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense when you think about it. Out of all of them that has appeared, there's no. These are more believable than the rest, because some of the stuff that's been out, the rest of them are just mad. Just, you know, they're more unlikely. This, basically, what I'm trying to say is, this stuff seems a lot more likely than the other stuff that's come out. It's a lot more believable. And more.
I do agree. And Chris Chibnall, I mean, it does say, listen, that'd be my dream. That he is gone. But again, we have to be cautious here. I do see people, I don't care, and stuff like that. I mean, I get where he's are coming from, but I mean, you know, if Chris Chibnall is gone, that's something to be celebrated, I think. I wouldn't celebrate yet until there is an official announcement, but look, I agree with Marty. The thing is, we read all the other stuff, right? And it's mad, right? It's so out there. In fairness, right? Think about it logically. Does it sound logical for Chris Chibnall to drag this story arc out till the 60th? Or does it make more sense, right, to end it after Series 13? Because that's where I thought he would end it, after Series 13. You know, why would you need to drag it on? I mean, if you need 2 or 3 more seasons to do this, well then, I'm sorry. It's not that complicated of a story. Who the feck is the timeless child? You don't have to go through all of this nonsense. You know? I just don't know. As I said, though, guys, take it with a pinch of salt. Remember, everything discussed on this channel, especially the opinions that me and Marty give, we're just speculating on all the leaks, and we're just giving you what we think is plausible. And Marty, again, after reading that post, I do agree with you. You're right. It is the most plausible. I mean, the others are ridiculous. I mean, and the reason why I can rule kind of one of them out is one of them actually says that uh, Dan is going to stay for the whole of Series 14. But that kind of contradicts what we already know what he's going to be doing, which is obviously this pandemic, provided that everything is okay, he's going to be actually out on tour.
Yeah, he'd never be able to fill it in. I mean, even if he did, he'd be constantly flying between Cardiff and wherever he has to be. So I
That's
think,
what I mean, and that wouldn't be healthy for him, a man of his age. And then got to go that night then to do a stand up. Maybe, well, he'd probably do what, 2 or 3 a night, maybe even probably 2 big ones. Or he'd probably do a matinee as well if it's the weekend. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I think it'd be too much, and that's why I can kind of say, well, that one sounds a bit implausible. And there was other stuff that he mentioned as well, that they were the ones that mentioned that Chris Chibnall was going to be here till the 60th. And I thought, there's no way, man. No, he has to go before the 60th. I mean, even if it's not Series 13, definitely Series 14, which the other tuber or the other leaker said. So, I mean,
so, I reckon he will. I mean, if Pete McTeague comes in here now, and he comes in and brings in a decent production team behind him, there's no reason why. Maybe it might be a wee bit. Maybe the schedule might be a wee bit tight, but he could crack out 2 series, Series 14 and Series 15, and then do the 60th after that if he wanted to. But it depends on what he wants to do. Like he might maybe like Chibnall. He'll have big gaps, or it all depends on what he has planned out. Is he going to be allowed to do 8 episodes? Maybe he wants to do more episodes. Maybe he wants to do less episodes.
Yeah, because that was the thing in all the other rumors as well, though, is that they all spoke about, which kind of annoys me a little bit, right? I mean, I don't know how you can't produce 10, at least 10 good episodes of Doctor Who, right? Now, under RTD and Moffat, it was what, around 10 or 12,
13,
and then you had the festive special, right? Now all of a sudden they can't do that. Now maybe there is budget constraints, and I get that, but if you're throwing out 8 episodes, I'm sorry, BBC, but you want to make sure that they're top notch in quality, because you're already giving fans less than what they're used to getting, and then you're producing something that's less of quality. They're able to see. Here's the thing that baffles me, right? Back in the day when they were under pressure, I remember RTD then, was doing Torchwood. I remember Jordan Moffat's era. He started off with Doctor Who, and then shortly after Sherlock, right? So these 2 guys alone were able to do 2 shows at the same time at one stage.
Yep.
We're able to produce script after script. Now, Moffat's era did suffer a lot more than RTD's, because I do believe Moffat's era, Doctor Who, suffered because, you could see it actually. There was some Doctor Who traits getting into Sherlock, and there was some Sherlock traits getting into Doctor Who, and I just didn't like it. It was like the lines were starting to get blurred between what Sherlock and Doctor Who were, in my opinion. That's why we got all this Sherlock nonsense.
It sort of was, because what you were getting was, you had Series 5, which was great.
Yeah.
You had Sherlock Series 1 that was great, but from thereafter, say, like, you had Sherlock Series 2, which was good, but Series 6 was weak, and then, for every good Sherlock series you were getting the bad series of Doctor
Who. Exactly.
And then you were getting and then for every, if you get the idea, it was sort of, you got a good Sherlock series, but you get a bad series of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
You got an okay, when Moffat was doing Series 10 and they didn't have Sherlock, Series 10 was all right. It was grand, but
Exactly. So
You know,
explain why a man that only has one show and has one job to do, right? To organize his scripts and organize his team of writers cannot produce more than 8 episodes a season. It's ridiculous. It's actually uncalled for, and it shouldn't be allowed to start. If you cannot produce and you're not even running another show, if you can't do at least 10, 11 episodes, that includes the special. If you can't, then you shouldn't be running Doctor Who. I'm sorry. Now there might be budget constraints behind this decision. It's never been specified whether that's the case. There has been budget talks that money, but I don't believe that when you get a HBO Max deal and you have that deal that you made with China, I don't know how you can't say that there is no money. There clearly is, but they obviously don't want to spend it on Doctor Who, rather spend it on other shows. I mean, Top Gear can go around the world still. I
yeah,
mean, that new show, Top Gear, can still go around the world. I mean, look at Line of Duty. They can still produce a great show there, and the production values are pretty high. Why
I
does
think
Doctor
you know the
Who?
best of it is with Light of Duty. They got an extra episode this series too under COVID. They usually have 6 episodes, and this series they've got 7.
There you go. So
So
I think there's no excuse. There is no excuse, right? And I think it all boils down to when they were first introduced. Jodie was introduced, and then Chris Chibnall. Chris was introduced first, and then you start hearing the stuff that was coming out of his mouth, and then you had uh, Jodie announced, and then I remember then when we were told how many episodes we were actually going to get. And then the debate start talking. Then, of course, you have people say, well, she's a woman. What if she wants to have kids and all of this? Well, I'm sorry, the harsh reality is then if that's what you want to do, well, then Doctor Who's scheduling is pretty intensive, right? It's a commitment. Now, she's been here. You've got to think about it, though. She's been here 5 years too, right? She's only done this be her third series, right? Now, if she has any desires to continue extending her family, well, then she would have to get out now.
yeah,
Because whatever other show she's going to do is not going to be as intensive as Doctor Who is filming. Everybody has said that's come in. We used to criticize the amount of articles that they come out because I thought, well, they're just saying that to justify the amount of episodes, because this is what the argument was actually all about. Because she was getting paid the same as Peter Capaldi, but she was doing less episodes, right? And then the debate started. But then the other side start bringing up our gender, but yet they talk about equality, and then we threw that back at them, and they were saying, "Nah, he's a sexist." But hold on, how can she get paid the same as Peter Capaldi if she's putting less work in? You know? So it stand off with the showrunner. He set the precedent. He was going to take his time. And maybe, as you said yourself, because he gets 3 series done in 5 years, so he had that time. He had that wriggle room. But the thing about it is, if you're given that much time by the BBC, explain to me then why the quality has dipped. If you're producing less and you have more time than the other showrunners had, right? Now BBC, all of a sudden, the talk is that, and most of these leakers, I think two or three said the same thing, that they want the show to be aired every year now, that BBC are keen for that to happen. Now, if BBC are keen for that to happen, that proves to me then that they do want it to be a success. So this is what kind of baffles me, is why we keep a man on that has clearly not done the things that he's asked him to do. If he had a certain brief, right, like that rumor that we believe, that me and Marty think might be true, if he had a brief, right, to produce something to try revitalize the show, well, then BBC explained to me how 57% of the audience walking away is revitalizing the show. Merchandise sales now affecting Classic Who. Funko Pop now looks like they're not going to do Doctor Who. Doctor Who magazine is struggling as well. And Big Finish is taking a hit. Okay? So explain to me how the quality has dipped, because in fairness, if I had that much time as a showrunner. Now, listen, I didn't write it, but I brought in a team of writers that I believed. I gave them a brief, right? This is what I want to happen in Doctor Who. You guys now make it happen. produce me some scripts, right? And then I get a script editor to come in, an expert, right, to go all over the scripts, see if it all fits together. So, it doesn't, it's not a mess, and make sure that there's an underlying arc going on as well to make sure that you kind of, leave little bread. But I do all the things that RTD did and Moffat did to a certain extent. That's what fans want, right? That's what they want, and they want space, right? We haven't had enough space. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're making CGI space is too expensive. Okay, it's too expensive. Then what you do then is do what they used to do in the old days, if you have to, right? I mean, technology is a lot better now. Just get a black screen, dot some fucking stars and planets on it, and make it look real. There you go, sorted, right? You don't want to use fucking CGI because it's too expensive. Because the CGI he has used during this era is ridiculous anyway. But Marty, I mean,
I'll tell you what I will say about. Well, I suppose I think he's right now this year. I've just been doing a wee bit of research on Pete McTeague. I'll tell you what else is a bit of a coincidence too. Wentworth is wrapping up this year.
Yeah,
it's wrapping up. So that might add a bit more fuel to the fire. About him potentially taking over.
I again, he wouldn't be my. He wouldn't be the name that I'd want. But the thing about it is that he has produced some good shows. Now, am I willing? It's like Chris, but we kind of knew with Chris Chibnall what the future was going to be like, because his Doctor Who episodes that he wrote part of the Moffat era, and some of his writing in Torchwood gave us an indication that we could, if he didn't get it right, it'd be horrible. With Pete, though, he has done some good stories, but still they don't jump out at me. Now that could be because obviously he's influenced by Chibnall, and Chibnall has the final say. A lot of these people, you have to kind of, you have to wait until they actually take over to judge them. Because look at it this way, right? I mean, look at Moffat's individual episodes. Like when he got the job, we were all delighted because we thought these individual episodes are great. But we soon found out pretty quickly, as showrunner, yeah, he does some great things, but overall, let's be honest, he let us down a lot of times. He tried to overcomplicate things. He started to believe his own hype. Now, it could go that direction with Pete, or it could have the absolutely opposite effect, and he gives us something that's gripping, because Brentwood Prison is gripping, but we want something gripping. But I want space. I want space. I want space battles. I want the Doctor on planets being the hero, a proper hero, not getting everybody to do all the hard work and swooping in and taking all the glory. I want the Doctor to be the one that figures out situations. I want the Doctor to go rush in, save his companions like the Doctor has always done. I want all of that. I want to be able to be scared out of my mind. I want to be able to laugh. I want to be able to cry. The only thing I feel about Chris Chibnall's era is this. Right? I'm that bored.
I tell you, I'm actually reading a quote from him. This was a couple of years. This is when he was announced to be a part of Series 11. So make of this what you will. He said in the quote, this is on Wikipedia, by the way, he says, "My entire television career has quite literally been an elaborate plan to get to write Doctor Who, and no one is more shocked than me that it's paid off. I've been having the time of my life working with Chris, who doubt it, and writing for Jodie and the new team. I can't wait for everyone to see what we've been up to." So, it seems like, if he says his entire career has been a plan to write for Doctor Who, he clearly has been a fan for a long time.
Well, then he has ambitions to be showrunner, then, like you have ambitions to be an executive producer.
Yeah.
Listen, I like ambition like that. if he's that ambitious and he thinks he could do something with this show that Chris Chibnall isn't doing, I'm all for giving that guy a chance. But I will say this though, right? If he doesn't get rid of the writers that are there, now I'm sorry, he has to make some harsh decisions, right? If he doesn't get rid of Chris's writing team and doesn't bring in his own people, or he keeps some of Chris's writers on and brings in his own people, I probably won't be opposed to that once it's not the wrong ones. We don't want Ed Hyam back ever again anyway. Let's make that honest. He's written probably the worst 2 in a row now. He's written the worst episodes.
If he came in and brought in, just throwing names out, for example, if he came in and he brought out, if he started writing, say he had 10 episodes, right? He wrote, say, a two-part finale, 2-part opener, and then you had Maxine Alderton, you had Toby Whithouse, you had Neil Cross, Neil Gaiman. You know, it wouldn't be a bad phrase, like.
Yeah, listen, we mentioned Neil Cross. Toby Whithouse was another one that was mentioned as potential showrunners. But look, if Pete brought them in, those type of people in, I would have more positive outlook for Doctor Who's future. He would, and I would like to see Neil Gaiman there. I mean, the Doctor's wife, I know it's a decisive episode to some, but those scenes in the TARDIS, right, when House takes over and starts changing the TARDIS, if your hair is not standing up on your arms watching that and it's not scary, then I don't know what is, because even the voice, it's just the whole atmosphere.
It's Michael Sheen doing that voice. It's Michael Sheen. That's Michael Sheen.
Oh, well then there you go. There you go. There you go. Look at been watching that episode for years. There you go. Right, but that was a great story. It was dark. You know, you could tell where Neil Gaiman's what his writing style's like, and what the tone of a series of his would be like. But if he brought them in as part of I don't know if they would come in as part of his writing team, but if they come in as guest writers to write, and I think maybe that is a way that maybe Doctor Who should look into that. Maybe that's what the new showrunner should look into. Do you remember those old shows? They used to have guest writers come in. You know, you could have some guest writers come in, like the way you'd have guest stars. You know, they could have an idea, but obviously, like, they're told, right, this is the brief. What's your story about? Can you incorporate the brief into your story? You know, that's how they used to do it years ago. Why not go down that route? You never bloody know. Look, I do think Doctor Who needs a right kick up the backside. It does. It really does. It needs a jolt from somewhere. It needs to be brought back from critical condition. It needs to be brought back to life. I don't know.
I keep saying it. The only way I can see it, I know a lot of people won't agree with me this, but the only way I can see it coming back to life is if they serialize it. They've got to serialize it. I've said this now. Every stream I've been on, I've said this. All these big shows that are doing well, Stranger Things, Line of Duty, I'll go over all these shows again. The format, the success is the reason why they're having such good ratings is because they're serializing their story, telling it over 10 episodes. Not the same story over 10 episodes. You could have different episodes with different
but you have that main story arc going on in the background that people want to watch every week.
Yeah, exactly. And leaving a cliffhanger every week. You want to people's jaw on the floor. That's what Line of Duty does every Sunday night. My job is on the floor. You know, you look through Twitter. Twitter's going mad. And, you know, you just want to see the next episode. And if he does that, if he serializes it, has different episodes, but has the storyline going through every single episode the whole way up to the finale, guarantee, you know, it'll be a rating set.
Yeah, but it would take someone with a lot of guts to do something like that with Doctor Who. Yeah. And if he did propose that, I would be happy with that too. Listen, as I said, Doctor Who does need to be kicked up the backside big time, because I'm telling you now, guys, if me and Marty have kind of, we've said that we think that one leaker might be telling the truth. We're not saying it's fact. We're just speculating. But I'd be really gutted if it was one of the other leaguers, because it meant then that Chris Chibnall staying to the 60th or season 14, which would make no sense to me whatsoever. I don't know why you want to keep a man in that BBC have seen under his stewardship. The audience has vanished by 57% and the ratings, and they even openly admit, yeah, the ratings are not what they expected them to be, but they're happy. That line in itself tells me that BBC have lowered expectations for this show now. And that is a very dangerous position for any show to be in, because the worse it gets, the lower the expectations will go again, because BBC will not admit defeat. This is the thing, though. BBC will never admit defeat. Yes, they'll come out and say, yeah, the ratings aren't as what we thought they were. But they came out straight away and said, but no, the show is healthy. We believe in the show. We think the show is going to do. You know what I mean? So they're lowering expectations. And they're going to continue to do that if the ratings continue to nosedive. And you're going to have clowns out there defending it left, right, and centre. Instead of, if these people actually for once came out and said, enough is enough, right? And actually said, listen, no, we're not buying into this anymore. The ratings are crap. The show is in trouble. He's not, and they even admit in videos, you see them, and even on Twitter when they write stuff up, yeah, Chris Chibnall's writing needs to improve. Well, I mean, he's been 5 years in the job, right? He's coming up to his 5th year, I should say, or he is his 5th year. This is his 3rd season, right? I mean, how many years he's willing to give this man before he gets it right? This is the thing. Yous are telling us that, oh, we've been at him since day one. Yeah, rightly so. Rightly so. Series 11 wasn't good enough. I'm sorry. You could say it was, it wasn't. Series 12, then, I will give him credit where credit is due. He tried to give us something more like Doctor Who in Series 12. Spyfall Part 1 was actually a decent episode. I can't believe, actually, when I did my review, there was actually several things that I was pleased about. It didn't look as bad as it did in the trailer. The trailer looked absolutely ridiculous, where she was running behind the plane, and I thought, here, they're just taking the piss out of James Bond. But it actually turned out to be a good one-part story. The problem I had is when we got to the second part, and then after the second part, it just got worse from there. And then it picked up a little bit near the middle, and then everybody was saying, okay, some of this is not too bad. And then he drops the bombshell on us. And I'm not talking about the Root Doctor, because, as I've said, I actually don't mind the Fugitive Doctor. I know there are some people that don't like her, but I've always said it from day one. I actually like our Doctor. I'm not going to say that I don't, because I do. I like it more than Jodie Whittaker's Doctor anyway. The few minutes that she's on screen, she's more of a Doctor than Jodie's been in 2 years, and that should tell everybody that what they need to know, right? This woman is a fan of the show as well. It's why I'll stick up for her, because she's a genuine fan. And our first interview, when she spoke about it, she said all the right things. She came out and said all the right things. She was very grateful to fans. And she even addressed some fans and she was very sincere, and she was very, and she kind of understood that there would be people that would have a fit about another Doctor, especially another woman Doctor. There wasn't a couple of races out there, unfortunately, but they were called out straight away, even by myself. I'm not having that crap either, right? But I liked our Doctor. But this is the thing. It's too late. All of this is too late. Then we got the Timeless Children, right? And then Chris Chibnall, that was it. Done. Fans were done after that, right? I'm being honest, I didn't think I could watch the festive special. I did. And again, I will say this. It was an improvement on that. I'm going to be honest now, right? I'm going to say this. If anybody tells me what's the best thing that Chris Chibnall has written for Doctor Who, I'm going to say it out straight. It's not Spyfall Part 1. It's not even The Fugitive Doctor. It's this festive special. Now, I will say it has plot holes galore, as usual with a Chris Chibnall story, because he never likes to explain things. But there were some moments in this where I did believe Jodie as the Doctor. I said that openly in my review. There was a little twist in it that I never thought I'd see in it. I was actually quite sinister as well when it was highlighted actually what she had done, but still never thought she'd do something like that. But the fact that she outsmarted the Dark, and it wasn't cheap. It was
She,
done.
I thought the scene. There's only I've clicked with her several, only about a handful of times. I clicked with her in Spyfall. I clicked with her in the Fugitive of the Junoon episode. I clicked with her in the Haunted of Villa Diodati, the Maxine Alderton episode.
Yeah,
And I clicked with her in this episode. That scene where the TARDIS is flying and she opens the doors, and that's when she lures the
yeah.
TARDIS.
That was
When she
brilliant.
starts
I don't
confronting
care
the
what
Daleks, I
anybody
was
says.
like,
That was
if,
brilliant, Marty, wasn't it?
if,
That
if,
was. I'm telling you, man. That scene surprised me, and she did. And I turned to Cheryl and I even said to her, right, because she wasn't even looking forward to it. Like we both weren't, and I was like, "Come on, we'll." She said, "Come on, we'll just watch it." And I said, "Right, come on." And I have to say, I said, "Right, but I'm gonna watch it and I'm not gonna moan." Right, that's what I said to her, and she laughed. Right, because she said, "Watch 5 minutes in, I'd be moaning." But for 15 minutes, so there was complete silence. Right, and I looked at her and I said, "Do you know what? I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but this is actually rather good, isn't it? It's actually nice." I says, "What? Where has this Chris Chibnall been?" Now, don't get me wrong. Marty will tell you, plot holes galore, right? Jack even turning up doesn't even make any sense whatsoever. Even though they try to explain, it still doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't. There's some glaring plot holes, but it was nice to see him. He wasn't round. Uh, in this one, yeah, he did ham it up a little bit too much in this, but not as much as he did when he had his cameo
yeah,
in the last one with Graham and Yaz and Tolson. I mean Ryan, but there was some good moments, and even Yaz got some character development. It wasn't still great, but she got something to do in this story. I have to be honest. Actually, the one that suffered in this story was Ryan.
yeah,
Actually, he didn't get to do too much in this story at all because he was moaning about. You could already tell by this. You could already tell he was gone. Even if you didn't know, and BBC kept this under wraps right until this episode, you knew he was leaving at the
yeah.
end of the story. You
Uh,
knew straight away.
Jack, Joe Barman, as much as it was great to see, I'm not gonna lie, there was a wee part of me that did just, which every time I know there's a lot of people that think he's OTT and whatnot, but you know, this guy, I remember this guy sitting on the sofa at 7 years of age watching this guy. So when I see him again, there is, even though it is where we are, and Chibnall's writing the episode and all, I just can't help but smile when I see him because he was great in the episode, but
He was.
I thought the end of it where he just disappears, I thought that was a wee bit a bit
Yeah.
of a knockoff. But as I've said already, and I've been told whether it's true or not, I think he's going. I think he's going to come back. He's going to pop up again. There's no way.
He will. He
There's no
will.
way bringing him in for one episode and
No,
done.
he will. I'll tell you why. Because I do honestly believe, like you now, even though I have been told different, there's just too much. There's just too much noise around this for it not to be happening.
Yeah,
I do believe that a Torchwood either reboot or Torchwood's coming back is in the horizon somewhere. Now, whether it's in this year, next year, or the year after. But I do honestly believe that there are now serious talks. And this is not what I've been told. It's just what I've been seeing all over the place. And all the and listen, I said it at the time as well, though. Remember, I was saying, have you noticed there's a lot of articles like Radio Times, Screen Rant, and all of these others pushing this Torchwood reboot? and you were saying a poll saying that fans wanted Torchwood back in on. I was saying, what fans? What, the few hundred that are on Twitter? Do you remember? And it still continued. I'm telling you, I do honestly believe that BBC Three know they have to hit the ground running. And I do believe that they're going to try give fans the old favourites back. There also has been talk of Doctor Who Confidential. I don't think under this is why I do think there is something in the Chris Chibnall leaving. I think Doctor Who Confidential will come back for Series 14, but it'll be under a new showrunner.
Yeah.
And I do think Torchwood is going to come back as well. And I think both are going to be shown on BBC Three. Now, that's just my feeling on what everything that I have seen so far. Now, again, all of that could change. There might even be plans for Torchwood, and this could be just hype generated by the other side trying to get Torchwood into the MAME to try bring it back. And remember, John Barrowman has been very vocal about wanting to put that jacket back on and play Captain Jack again in Torchwood. He's even been pushed. There was ideas of a movie at one stage being pushed and being talked about. So I wouldn't bring it back yet. And this is why I don't think it is going to come back yet. I don't think there's going to be any sort, personally, and this is just me, nothing's got to do with sources, but I don't think personally anything will happen with Torchwood this year. What might happen is you might get an announcement that it is returning, but I reckon it'll be next year when they either probably start filming for it or it'll be coming out.
I think that if you weigh up the fact that I'll tell you these few things, and Barman went live on Instagram on New Year's Day after the special and said that there's something that he wanted to tell the fans but he couldn't, and he says I'm not going to tell you what it is, but he said he would go live again, but he didn't go live again after that. Maybe he was told to keep quiet. Maybe he was told to keep quiet, or maybe he says there is something. He says,
well, if Torchwood is coming back, right? I don't think it'll be this year. I don't think it'll happen while Series 13 is happening. They might even start filming. Look, it could be a possibility that they might even film this year, right? If they do announce it, yeah, Torchwood's coming back on BBC Three, and we're going to start filming. They could start filming Jordan Doctor Who while it's on TV. But it's not going to happen while Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who's on TV. I mean, them bringing it back and a film airing it. It's not going to happen this year. So if Torchwood does come back, it's 2022 when it comes back.
Yeah.
It's not 2021. It's definitely not. Now, there could be an announcement made this year that it's coming back for next year. But it's definitely happening this year.
What I could see happening, I mean, Barman said in the same interview that he said he has made it clear now that if he's going back to play Jack, he's not dyeing his hair anymore. He wants to be grey doing it. I mean, you add that with him staying in Cardiff over the past 6-7 weeks with Dance on Ice. He was doing Dance on Ice one day a week. There's no reason. I have no reason to doubt that he couldn't have been put in a car and set across the road to film. He may have done, if he's going to be in it. I reckon he has it filmed now and all wrapped up and done. I reckon he's if he is in it, it's been filmed, it's done, and there'll probably be a grey-haired Jack. What I could see happening is, what if they reintroduce Torchwood in Series 13, and then after, like, say they introduce it and say, like, for example, episode 4 of Series 13, and then they come out with a big press release after the episode and say, yeah, listen, Torchwood's coming back next year. That's what I think happened, where they actually
listen, either way, interesting time for us all. Interesting time for the fans. I know there are fans of Torchwood. I'm one of them. And I know there are not fans of Torchwood, so either way, this won't make a difference to you guys. All you care about is whether Doctor Who can ever get back to where it was. I mean, it is sad to see a lot of fans not caring anymore, but I understand it. I would never rip the piss out of any fan that just has turned their back completely on this. I understand it. I just can't. I thought I could. I can't. I have to see how this all finishes. I need to see that timeless children's story arc come to an end. For me personally, for me to be able to move on. I thought by not if I ignore it and pretended that it didn't exist, I could move, but I can't. I can't. It's still there. It's still on film. It happened. So, for some weird morbid curiosity, I have to watch and see where he takes this and where it ends up going. And I just want it to be over now at this stage. But Series 13 has to be. If he drags this out to the 60th anniversary, you can kiss Doctor Who goodbye. I'm sorry, it's not surviving after the 60th. You know what? I never gambled in all my life. But if someone plays that bet with me now, I take it, because for the simple fact is, under Chris Chibnall, no. If they get rid of him or he decides to step down, that's always been the plan, and they've gotten someone else in, well then yes, there's every possibility that it will go past the 60th, but not under Chris Chibnall. This Doctor Who under Chris Chibnall's not going past the 60th anniversary. If they get someone else in, and I said they've always had a window of opportunity, this is it now. They either take this chance now, or Doctor Who's not coming back out. And even if it did come back after the 6th, nobody's going to watch. Nobody will watch. But I don't think it will. I think they'll knock it on the head. It'll be the right time, I think, logically, for them to nip it in the bud for a few years. But it has to be someone else. It doesn't necessarily have to be Pete, but they have to get rid of Chris Chibnall after Series 13, or he needs to step down. And if that's always been the plan, then fair play to him. He's done the right thing, because this era cannot go on any further. If this goes on any further than Series 13 and that festive special that he's doing, that's it. We're done. We're done for. The show is dead in the water, because we've already got fans like Daniel, and there's a lot of fans like Daniel now that just don't care and will not come back until that man's gone. And
it's got to be, as I say, like, it's my opinion is that, based on the rumors and based on what I want, it lies with the future of Doctor Who lies within the hands of one of three people. It lies with Toby Whithouse, Pete McTeague, or Neil Cross. That's where I think it lies. It's one of those three anyway that should be taking it, because preferably Toby Whithouse, but it's just it's a very fragile position. I mean,
yeah,
I feel like we're on. If I had to compare where we are now to a year, like a year in time, I would say 1988. And if they don't get this series right, we're deja vu here with 1989, where the show's going to be canned. That's where I feel like where we are. We aren't in the heydays of the 70s anymore. You could parallel the heyday of the 70s with Tennant's era. We're not there anymore. We're in the late 80s, and things aren't looking good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs, to be quite honest with you. Again, though, what worries me is that you can already tell that BBC are lowering their standards when it comes to Doctor Who. Maybe they are putting the money elsewhere, and Doctor Who doesn't have the budget that it had for Series 11. Maybe this is what probably happened. Maybe they did give him, because we were told, actually he said it in interviews, that they threw money at him for Series 11. And what probably happened is after Series 11 aired, initially when they seen the 11 million, they were like, yoo-hoo, it's paid off, right? But then slowly and surely, during Series 11, the ratings then started to nosedive.
Yep.
Right? And then they took a brief reprieve then, obviously, when Captain Jack's cameo happened. And then it went again. Right? Ratings went again. Then Series 12 came, and I will say this, compared to Series 11, it was an improvement on what we got. Because, as I said, Chris Chibnall did try and make it like Doctor Who. Unfortunately, his shortcomings of showrunner have been exposed. He's just not good at writing Doctor Who. It's not an indictment on the man. He's just better at writing other stuff. This is what puzzled me as well with the decision. Yeah, I have to get someone in with sci-fi experience, and his sci-fi experience has been hot and cold. He's better with detective dramas. This is why I can't understand why he didn't go this route with Jodie's Doctor and add in the sci-fi. Yeah, it mightn't have been everybody's cup of tea, but it wouldn't have been the boring pile of crap that it's been. But Series 12, the ratings continued. Then we start getting the spin. During Series 11, the rhetoric was, oh no, the ratings are great. Ratings are good. Ratings matter. Then when they saw the ratings nosediving and they realised what was going on, at the end of Series 11, the rhetoric started changing. No, ratings don't matter. It's not the ratings that matter anymore. Anyway, that's not a true reflection because people haven't watched it live and all of this excuses, right? And that carried on into Series 12 when the ratings continued to decline. But you see, here's the thing, and this is the biggest flaw of our argument, and it is the biggest flaw. The current and modern ratings take everything into account. And I mean everything. That includes live viewers, the overnights, the 28-day consolidated figures, and the AI. Right? Now, what does that mean? It means it's across all platforms. So they also do catch-up TV. Okay? Even the AI has dropped. Now, if look, you can spin it whatever way you want. The ratings are not good enough. But BBC have said, yeah, they're not as good as we thought, but they're not worrying, basically. That's not good enough. If they think losing 57% of the audience isn't worrying, well then whoever's above Chris Chibnall and above what's his name, P. Fenger, right? Obviously, it's not the new fella that's come in that everybody thought was going to change things. There's obviously someone above those. Whoever's making those decisions and whoever's saying those kind of things need to be fired because the ratings aren't good enough. This isn't good enough. This is not. If look, Line of Duty is a completely different show. Yes, Peaky Blinders is a completely different show. Even Call the Midwives is a completely different show. Now, yes, I will say for Call the Midwife, because it's been on a long time now, the ratings have fluctuated over the last few years and they're up and down, right? But they still get 8-9 million people watching that show, right? The same with, well, at the time, Line, I don't know how it does now, so I could be wrong now. But look at Line of Duty, can easily pull in 9 million viewers a week, right? Peaky Blinders as well, very popular show, right? Don't know how many million that pulls in, but it's consistent. That's the point. These shows can do it consistently, right? Now, the question that the execs at BBC need to ask themselves, why is Doctor Who's ratings inconsistent? What's the reason behind that? And then if they did what we fans did and did simple investigating, they would find that the reason why the ratings are inconsistent is because you've got a clueless driver behind the wheel. You've got someone that can't drive properly driving your IP. And it's driving it over a cliff, you see. And that's the problem you have. You've got someone that, unfortunately, you thought was the right man, isn't the right man. Now, if he had, as I said, went down the route of making the Doctor a bit more detective-y, right, because that's his strengths, and played to Jodie Whittaker's strengths, I'm not saying that we'd still be happy, we'd all be happy and stuff. We'd still, Chris Chibnall has his shortcomings, but if he had played to his strengths and played to Jodie Whittaker's strengths, right, as I said, it mightn't have been that this era Doctor Who mightn't have been everybody's cup of tea, but at least we wouldn't be here saying, well, there's 57% of the audience dropped off. You know, you'd still get enough people invested to watch it and keep the ratings at a steady, say, 8 million. I say 8 million now is a logical target to go for. If you could get 11 million in The Woman Who Fell to Earth, in fairness, I don't think they're you know, the first episode was always going to be watched. So you have to take that into account. But after that then, okay, 11 million, say 9.5, 8, 8.5, 9.5. If you don't hit around that figure after that consistently, and I mean consistently, then you have a problem. And if other shows can do it, then you BBC execs need to ask why it's not happening with Doctor Who. And as I said, you will find out, like all fans have found out, that Chris Chibnall not only was the wrong man, but also brought in the wrong people, cast the wrong person. If he wanted someone to play a female Doctor, there are plenty of other actresses out there that a lot of fans believe would have done a better job, whether they agree with the gender swap or not. Some fans would have preferred a different actress to Jodie Whittaker off the bat anyway. She wasn't the right person either. And I don't think her CV, and I'm sorry, and I'm going to say what I said at the time, and I'll say it again, and I mean this wholeheartedly, I don't think her CV was good enough for her to be justified to take the role as the first female Doctor. You needed someone that actually had a CV, especially with the first female Doctor. See, it's different because it's been established as being a man for over half a century, right? So it doesn't matter what their CV is like, because you had Matt, who was an unknown. He had a decent enough CV, but he was still an unknown, right? With the first female Doctor, you needed to bring someone in like an Olivia Colman, right? Someone with pedigree, someone that had that CV behind them. And yes, it would help if they had a few awards as well to back it up. Because if you're making the biggest change in the show's history after a half a century, you want to be throwing the kitchen sink at it. And when I mean throw the kitchen sink, you bring in the best writers, you bring in the best actress, you bring in the best music composer, you bring in the best of everything, right? So when fans do come out with a backlash, because there still would have been a backlash against a female Doctor, you could say, well, listen, this is the writing team I've brought out. Trust me, leave it with me. This show is in safe hands. I will prove you was all wrong, and we'd all be sitting back all big. No, you won't prove us all wrong. And you know what? He could have. He could. You know what? Could have happened. Could have happened. So all the wrong decisions were made, and they keep making the same wrong decisions.
There's only one person that I think, if I was to cast a female Doctor in the morning, there's only one person I can think of right now, and I'm going to share with you on the screen who it is.
Right.
I will find out. I will tell you now who it is. I will share it with you on the screen. I've been watching her for ages, and I just think she's brilliant for it. And share screen. Where is it? Share screen. Which one is it?
It should be under share now. It just says share now.
Got it. There she is. Vicky McClure from Lady Judy. She's who I'd have. She's absolutely brilliant, Lady Judy.
Oh yeah, I seen her in the clip when we were watching Gogglebox actually, and there was a scene with her and the other detective, and they were getting, well, the other detective was getting up close and personal because she's spying. It's blue. Look at. I even know what's going. Listen, I only watched the clip and I already figured out what's going to happen, but I could be wrong because this show loves to flip it. But even watching little snippets, but yeah, she is a good actress. I know who you're talking about, actually. But again, I'm going to say something. I don't think she'd be everybody's cup of tea, though.
Yeah, she'll not be everybody's cup of tea, but I think she'd be if you want to go for a serious female doctor. I think she can do serious. Like she can, if you see her in scenes where she's interrogating people and where she's telling people where to stick it in Line of Duty, now she can do it. Like so that's who I'd go for. Anyway, she is brilliant. I reckon anyway.
Yeah, but I think right now that could probably work in the future. But well, personally, I firmly believe that Chris Chibnall has ruined it, but that still won't stop. Well, ruined it for another woman, but I don't think that'll stop BBC from doing it in the future. But I think right now, and the other side, you can call me misogynistic and sexist all you want, but this is the fact of the matter. I do believe personally that BBC should be looking at a man
Yeah,
for this next one. Now, whether it's a young guy or an old guy, or someone in between, I don't know if people would class Michael Sheen as old, but you don't know how his doctor would be. Would they shave? Would he have to shave his beard and stuff? You don't know how his doctor would look. He could obviously look old and look younger than what he looks now. Or
Ben Whishaw is again.
do you bring in a Ben Whishaw or do you bring in Richard Ayoade, who's always been my choice because he's naturally quirky anyway. And if you look at his style of dress, he kind of dresses a bit like a doctor, a bit like a Riddler, back in the old days with the suits.
Yeah.
So and he's actually a real life geek. So I honestly look, the main problem that people have with him is they don't think he could do serious, right? He's good because he's a comedian. He'd have no problem doing the funny stuff. But again, remember, people were saying the same about Christopher Eccleston, that he couldn't do the funny, that he was too serious. And he got the balance right. I think if you're directed properly, you will get the balance right. And Christopher Eccleston did. I do believe that he is the only choice, in my opinion. If you want to satisfy all fans, I think he is the choice. He's young. He's also, as I said, he's got those traits. He's also funny. But he's also, as I said, BBC want to diversify. So he ticks what BBC want and what they believe the audience crave. But I've seen him. I've watched everything he's been in. I've watched the Crystal Maze as well. That's where I think, because in that, even though he's a bit jokey in the Crystal Maze, there are certain, if you watch him in certain times, he actually gets cross and gets serious with the contestants. And that's why I believe, when I see that side of him, that's why I believe he can do the serious. So for me, he doesn't just tick all the boxes for me. I love him as Moss in the IT Crowd. I watched him in the movie with Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn, The Watch. I followed his career very closely. He's been on all obviously, he's been on all the UK comedic panels, shows as they do in the UK. He's my number one choice. He's always been my number one. And for anybody that doesn't know who he is, and while I'm going, I'll let Marty talk there, but I'm going to find him and show you who.
I have him up on the screen. I'm sharing.
Okay, let's see.
But
here's my choice for the doctor, folks. Can you make that picture up there, the one with the suit? Because he wears a lot. See, he's got the style, he's got the hair, he's even got glasses, man.
See. There you go. Is that any? Can you see that? No, maybe. No. Can't
No,
get
it's not any bigger.
But, let me see.
He's my choice. Telling you guys, I'm telling you, he's the one. He is
that suit there. Even that suit there just screams.
Very doctory. Look
Yep.
at the blue one. Look at the blue one that he has on. Look at the brown one. He wears a lot of suits. I
Yeah.
think he has a tweed one as well. I'm telling you, folks, right? I've seen him acting in it, and he's in The Watch as well. Now, the movie isn't the greatest movie in the world, but I love it because he's in it with Ben Stiller. And he's my choice. He has always been my choice. And people call me out to be this racist and stuff. You can even find posts back in the day when Jodie was announced, and I was gutted. I was talking about this guy. I've been talking about this guy ever since Jodie Whittaker has been cast. He is my choice for the Doctor, and I think he ticks a lot of boxes, not just for me, but for BBC too. There, put that picture up there with that costume there. That looks very doctory. There you go. Someone already put him in a costume. Look at that. Don't tell me that wouldn't tempt you guys with Pete McTeague and him as the Doctor. Right? That's what I think BBC need right now. They need a young Doctor, but I'll also go back to a and listen. Any fan out there that has a problem with his skin color can get the fuck out of this fandom right now. And I'm going to tell you out straight, right? You can get out of this fandom right now, okay? He has the credentials as far as I'm concerned, right? Now, it is my opinion, but I do think he ticks a lot of boxes and he would appease not just us, but I think he would appease the other side as well. Because think about it, right? All because they're all there about is, oh well, he's a black doctor. That's all they'd be happy about, right? They don't care about his acting credentials or his CV, whereas I am. But for them, skin color, as you know, matters to them. So that would appease them as well. And I think, I'm not saying it would heal the fandom, but I think we'd have relative peace. Now, if there are people out there that do have a problem with his skin color or have a problem with them picking a doctor of color, well, then you have no place in this fandom. He is, after all, an alien, okay? Who's not to say that he can't? Listen, I get why some of you have a problem with it because it's forced, but I don't think this would be forced. I don't think he'd be a forced choice because I think he ticks a lot. Now, that's my choice. Obviously, Marty gave you his choice if it was female, but if you could go with a male doctor yourself, you put up your choice now because you've given me the opportunity to put up my choice, and you tell people why you think your choice would be good. But look, I honestly, Marty, think he's a good choice. I think he ticks every single box, and I'd give him a go. Listen, I think he'd surprise people with the serious stuff. I really do. And if you're worried about him being funny, you don't have to, because he's one of the funniest comedians, and he's deadpan as well. He can do deadpan brilliant. He's my choice. He's always been my choice. If I can't get him, my second choice has always been, and you all know this, is Michael Sheen. But they're my two. They're my two. That's who, one of them I'd be pleased with, but more Richard, because I think Richard could calm everything down a lot as well. Because I think, and he'd say the right things, and he's very down to earth, and you would love him. His interviews would be absolutely comedy gold. You would have the host there trying to, the presenter there trying to actually ask him questions, and he would have them. He'd be sitting there for the next 20 minutes ripping the piss out of them, but they wouldn't know that he's ripping the piss out of them. That's how good he is at the comedic side. Right, this is
Tom Ellis,
Marty's choice. And again, another great fucking choice, though.
He's just, I don't know, I remember when he was in series 3 alongside Martha, and I just thought to myself, this guy's just potential Doctor. Even the clips I've seen of him with Lucifer, like the way he acts in Lucifer is just very, very, like, anything that I've seen of him in Lucifer just seems very Doctor-like. It seems like obviously taking out the shirtless scenes and whatnot. Like he's the guy. He just you look at him straight away, like, and he just seems like people would probably say he's another David Tennant, like, but I just think he would. Let me see if there's any pictures of him with us.
Tim didn't like me choice. Now that's a great choice. I'm sorry to disappoint, but I do agree. Tom Ellis would be an absolutely another great choice. But here's the problem with Tom Ellis for anybody that doesn't know. If they cast Tom Ellis, the other side are going to be, it's another white male. You gave it to him. See, that's the problem we're going to have. You see, they're never going to be happy with Tom Ellis. And yes, his CV is good enough for him. And listen, he's been spoken about over the last couple of years as a potential doctor, along with your guy that was in debt, Chris Marshall. So, I mean, his name has been in. Look, eventually, I do believe that maybe there's a chance that Tom Ellis will be the doctor. There's a lot of good names out there. Patterson Joseph, anyone? His name was mentioned in one of the rumors. That name has been thrown about. Ollie Alexander's name has been thrown out as well. The other side are not going to be happy with Tom Ellis, but he is a great choice. Absolutely fantastic choice, actually. But I just don't see it. I don't because, and I think BBC, it is quite interesting that even though all the sources might contradict each other, some do have similar information, and they all have said that BBC are interested of casting someone, a person of color, a man. So I think that's the direction they're going to go down. And I think Richard should be the one. He's been my look. I am being biased here. Of course, I am. He's been my choice for a long, long time, and secretly, I've wanted this for a very long time. I would love it to be him. Listen, I'd be doing cartwheels. I would be absolutely 100% delighted if he got the job. I'd actually cry if he got the job, because he seriously, you don't understand. The characters he plays, there's something that I've always wanted to Richard, but his characters, and that I've ever watched, I've been automatically just drawn to his characters that he plays. And then when I saw him on the Crystal Maze, you got to see what the man was like. And then, because you see him on comedy shows, he's playing the fool because he's a comedian. But when he's a bit more serious, he's great. I just think he would satisfy a lot of people on both sides, including the BBC, because they want to be seen to be moving in the direction that, because they believe that they're not being diverse enough. So this would actually, would benefit everybody, in fairness. And why not have a choice that's universally agreed by everyone? Now, listen, there might be Richard, there could be someone else, there could be another actor out there that's fantastic, right? But I don't think they're gonna go with. I honestly don't, because there's a lot of stuff. I honestly don't think they're gonna go with another white male.
Listen, I remember seeing all over Gallifrey Base a couple of maybe a year ago now, that the two choices that Chibnall supposedly had for the Doctor was either Jodie Whittaker and your woman Vicky McClure that I just mentioned there about 20 minutes ago. So, there is a rumor going around, because I do follow Line of Duty. There is a rumor going around that her character may be killed off this series. So, I would not surprise me for a second if they went for another female Doctor.
Right. Well, listen, the question you have to, the question and I'm going to ask you is, has she ever worked with your woman that played that general in Hellbent, the one that came out and said that she knew who the Doctor was, and she did mention a woman and she was terrific?
I will have a look, but I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Because again, I said at the time that could be all smoke and mirrors. She was probably asked to say that because someone had found, and she just threw the whole. Because then everybody's speculating, well, who's the woman? Everybody start going through our Wikipedia, I bet you. Because I was seeing posts, she's worked with this actress, and she's worked with this actress, and she's worked.
No, she hasn't worked with her now, so that if that's not the way true, that rules her out. So no, she hasn't worked with Tadia Miller now.
Right, well, then that would, yeah, but that still doesn't mean that is possible. But look, it's this debate about who should be the doctor next is a very interesting one. We're all going to have different people that we'd like to see. For me, obviously, I've given my choice, and it is a personal choice. But at the same time, I'm looking at the person that, and this was mentioned a few weeks back, we need to bring someone in that'll bring the fandom together. Now, I'm not saying we'll be singing Kumbaya with the other side. They'll still have their digs, but if we can get some relative peace in the fandom, and you need someone with a personality like that, and you need someone that will engage the fans. And I do believe, personally speaking, that he ticks all those boxes. Now, Raymond did mention in the chat there that that Richard has no range. I would have to disagree with that. Yes, we've seen him mostly in comedies, but he has come out of his comfort zone in a few things. He's done the Crystal Maze, as I said. Yes, that is kind of a reality. Well, you'd call that a reality game show, wouldn't you? It was out years ago.
Yeah,
I used to watch it years ago as well. I love it. I love the Crystal Maze personally. But there are times in that show where he's being serious and his personality comes through. And I'm telling you, looking at him, I think he could pull off serious. I think he'd surprise a lot of people. I think it'd be another kind of, not the same as a Heath Ledger kind of thing, but it would be that moment for fans where fans would say, why did they go with him? You know, he has no range as Raymond. And some fans will think like that. And, you know, okay, they kind of have a point with stuff that he's done, but I do believe there's something inside that man that can play this role. I think he was made for this role. I just don't know what it is about him. As I said, every character that he's ever played, I've been drawn to his character in whatever I've been watching, whether it was the movie The Watch or it was the IT crowd, or as I said, when I was watching him on the Crystal Maze, he's a very engaging person. He's fascinating. And then when you see him on talk shows and then you see him on these comedic panels, you know, you're getting little snippets of what he's like. And I honestly do believe he'd blow everybody's socks off. But it'll be interesting. Look, I'll be shocked if they go. Look, I'm going to be honest. It's either going to go two ways. They'll either do what Marty has said and they go with another woman, right? Or they're going to go with another man, but it won't be a white male. The next Doctor, I don't think will be a white male. I'm going to rule that out now. I honestly believe they will go either one of the two options that I've mentioned. I think Marty does have a great case, actually. They could decide to double down and to show that they believe that this can work. And you know what? That may be a fool's errand to us. But to me as well, it'll indicate, well, okay, fair play to them. They're doubling down. They must really believe in this. You know, might be a bit foolish, but let's see what happens with Vicky. You know, and you know, I do know the actress. I've seen her in other stuff. I haven't seen her in Line of Duty, but the little clip that I did see in Gogglebox last week when they showed Gogglebox last Friday, she was heavily involved in the 2-3 minute clip that they played, and yeah, she's got some acting socks, all right. But it'll be one of the two routes. They're not casting another white man for a while. I've got a funny feeling. I'll be surprised, you know, if they do. See, if they do, to me, it'll indicate that they're backing down, that they've admitted that it's a failure. See, casting Richard wouldn't, because the way it'd be spun by the other side is, well, oh no, look, the Doctor Who's cast the first black man to play the Doctor. That's all that'll matter to them. Do you know what I mean? So they won't be even angry. But as soon as a white bloke, for a fact what will happen if they cast a Michael Sheen or a Ben Whishaw or a Tom Ellis. You know exactly what's going to happen. The other side are going to say, well, our BBC saw that they wouldn't, they didn't stick with it. They've bowed to the pressure, the haters, and then they'll all come after us. And then before you know it, then it's a complete and utter mess, and it's even worse than what it was before. And I don't believe they'll do that. I honestly don't. I think BBC they're so serious about this diversity and inclusion strategy thing that they're going to go through with it, what is said. And Doctor Who is the vehicle show that they seem to be using it for quite a lot. So I do think it'll be either a woman or another male, but it won't be a white male. And I don't. If I was given a choice between the two, I think I've already told you. I think you already know where I stand. So yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting one. I mean, Marty's choice is a brilliant choice, but I mean, I just don't see it. Marty, do you?
Yeah, it's unlikely now, but you never know. That's
it. And listen, we could stay here all night and talk about the rumors.
I know.
But we've exhausted. I think we've exhausted everything that we can now. But of course, if that does pop up new from anybody, I'm pretty sure we'll be told about it. But obviously, if it doesn't come from Marty, because Marty is the one that's been looking into it. So I know some people have alerted me that there was new rumors on Reddit. I thought last night. I don't know if they were talking about new rumors or the ones that we've already covered. But Marty is on it anyway. If I get at him, I'll wait for Marty to find it and let me know. But thank you, whoever informed me. I think it was the latest that we've already spoke about. But I will say this, as Daniel said earlier, Reddit is getting a little bit crazy now. It is a bit of a head spinner. But the one post that I read out to you tonight is the one that has been taken down by, according to Marty, I think the Reddit user themselves, though, not Reddit.
Yep.
So want to make that clear. It was the Reddit user, not Reddit. But it is the one to me and Marty that has sounded the most plausible out of the lot of them. And I have been saying this for the last couple of days. I do believe that one of those Reddit users is probably legit. It could be that one. And I think the rest of it are out there to deliberately put out misinformation. And that does happen. So if anything else does come up, there's an update. Marty, of course, will let us know. Yeah, if there is that, we'll find out. But yes, someone said there were new rumors. We didn't. It must be in the ones that we already covered. But I will say this: there could be people now deliberately taking the piece. So again, when we do wear them, obviously we'll do it the way we always do. We'll let you know exactly where it's from, and we'll point out. We're not telling you to believe any of this. Take it with a pinch of salt. It is, after all rumor and speculation. And remember, all four posters could be talking out their arse, so we could get something completely different as well. So you have to look at it that way too. So look, I've always been cautious with these Reddit rumors, but I have been grateful that we've been able to keep some is entertained, because even though some is are disillusioned with the shows, it's giving you all something to talk about. And I think that is good. And this is what has always happened. Fans have put out rumors over the last years, even when they used to meet back in the old days, when there was no even telephones and they were going to conventions. That's when they used to talk about the latest things that they heard, or the speculation or rumor that was, when they talk about in the magazine, and the fans would get together. Then they had phones, and then obviously be able to ring each other up and talk about it. And then the forums were set up. So it's what's always kept fans going when the series is off the air. So if there is any more from Reddit or Gallifrey base or wherever it's from, we will keep you informed, because obviously Marty is on it, and he has. And I just want to say thanks to Marty, and we should actually all be thanking Marty as well, because obviously he does go in and look and scan Reddit, and he comes across these posts, or he's alerted that there might be new stuff, and he'll go and check it out. So thank you for doing that. I really
No
do
bother.
appreciate it. But what you call it, as I said, he finds out anything else, we'll let you know. But it's I have to be honest, we do need a break. We do need a couple of days break now. I hope nothing comes out in the next 24 hours or whatever, because a little bit of a break now to do something different before another, because I just Reddit has just become this hotbed of information right now. Yeah, all the Reddit rumors are from Marty. Marty, not the rumors that I do get all me sources. If he's a wonder, Marty is not me source. No,
Sadly not.
no. But Marty has been coming across people that have been talking about leaks on Reddit. We have covered stuff on Gallifrey base as well. So it's been interesting, but we've made that clear to people out there. But they mix that information up with information I get with sources, and look, Noel's lying. We make it very clear. Even Marty, in some of the comments in some of the videos, earlier videos that we done, when we were covering the stuff on Gallifrey base, especially, Marty had to remind people that to go to a certain stream that we'd done, or go to the last stream where we talk about them in more detail. Again, we talk about everything in a lot of detail. These normally do go on. I only plan to go on for an hour, but I know that's never going to happen, because there's so much information that is out there. And, I want to give you my thoughts. Marty gave you his thoughts. I mean, that there are a lot of things that just add up, and there's a lot of things that don't add up with that information that's out there. But all I will say is, it's like everything, isn't it?
Yep.
Right now, the whole situation is a 50-50 situation. Just like Chris Chibnall leaving is a 50-50 situation. Right now, that is the deal. And we will just have to wait and see over the next couple of weeks, couple of months, because I'm telling you, Reddit is not going to be the only place that's going to start in the next few months, especially when it starts getting closer to the end of filming, right? You're going to have some stuff coming out. There'll be stuff that Chris Chibnall said. Now, if it's true about this big promotion push, Chris Chibnall, in reality, after he finishes filming the series and starts getting it together, should be out on the interview circuit, or at least, obviously, if we're still in pandemic, he'll be doing it all by video. But Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker, John Bishop, the whole of the BBC commercial arm will have to be in overdrive if this is getting a big final push like it's suggested. So that's what I'm saying. Things will start to explode in the next couple of months, because they will have to start pushing this Series 13, if
Yep.
the rumours are to be believed. Is there anything else, Marty, you'd like to add? We'll go in a few minutes, but is there anything else you would like to add?
Nothing that I can think of. All's that's all I have for you at the minute. But as I say, anything else that comes my way, I'll give you a bit of breathing space now. But if I hear anything else, I'll let you know.
Yeah, well, let me know straight away if anything does pop up. Even though I've said wait a couple of days, if anything pops up in the meantime, now let me know and I'll get it out there. Let people have a look, and then we'll do it. If we have to do a bloody another stream to talk about the latest, we will. That's the way it goes. Listen, I run a YouTube channel now nearly full time, so that's the joys. I mean, just because I want some time to myself, when it gets late at night, if I and even come in from my sources in the middle of the night, then I'm not going to stop. I have to go up, do a video, I have to. So that's just the way it is. So you don't stop. So look, if anything comes, you just let me know.
That's it.
But I'll wait for you. So if listen, if anybody does know of new rumors, that's great. But Marty will be on it. Don't worry about it. Just in case you have asked me, I have seen all the rumors now. We've seen all the rumors. I've even seen the rumors from Screen Leak about Torchwood and etc. We've seen all of that as well. Actually, that's what started all of this off with me and Marty doing these streams, wasn't it? Was the Screen Leak stuff, and then you had found stuff on Gallifrey Base then, and that was the very first stream that we did. And then we did another follow-up one because there was more information. And they were the two streams actually where you had to tell someone to go and watch the last stream because they were trying to say it was all bullshit and all of this, and we were basically lying and stuff. And you said, well, go and watch the last stream where we spoke about it. Like, you were having none of that bullshit. But that's the thing. That's where it all started. And then, of course, we started hearing about all the Reddit stuff. And then before you knew it, Marty was coming to me with the Reddit stuff. And I was like, okay, let's see what they have to say. I have to say it has been an interesting couple of weeks. I will have to say, covering all of this. The only reason why I'm covering it or I'm giving it any airtime, because it gives us something different to talk about. But also there could be, as I said, some snippets of that information that turns out to be true. And then we can look back on this stream and streams that we've done in the past and see which ones the Reddit leakers actually got right and which ones they got wrong. But it'll be interesting. It'll be fascinating. That's why I do these streams, so I can look back personally and say, oh, well, that leaker actually did get this stuff right. Oh, they got that wrong, but they got that right. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why I do them. And to be honest, with the comments that I've been seeing from you after the streams have gone up, a lot of you have thanked me for keeping you informed. Well, it's thanks to Marty. I wouldn't be doing these streams if I wasn't getting the information off Marty. Because I'm not on Reddit. I don't even I know what Reddit is, but I wouldn't know the first thing how to bloody use the thing. I mean, when he sent me the link and I had a look, oh geez, that's complicated, man. I wouldn't be able to use. So I couldn't even use Discord, man. I ended up giving up on Discord. You know. So I'm not good. So Marty was able to get all these. I was put the links up for you. Were able to see them. So yeah, we'll keep doing it. We'll keep you all informed, and hopefully there might be someone out there that actually backs up the Reddit poster that took down their post. Maybe not someone on Reddit. I'd like to. It'd be great to see, or if anybody even comes across, because you might, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, it's find anybody that can back this person up. Because if you had another person backing them up, then you know what? I should have really looked at the I never do. I just put the link in for you guys. Or obviously I read their rumors, but I don't like reading people's comments because you know, you'll always get a few smart arse few that say, this is bull, and I just hate reading loads, this is bull. So I didn't bother. But there could have been someone in that chat that could have backed this person up. Because that can sometimes happen as well. So we keep an eye out for that, Marty, as well. Post that might back this person up. I know it's like finding a needle in a haystack, but you've done so great now. But you might come across it by accident, or you mightn't at all, but it's worth looking out for anyway, I think, if there's anybody out there that can back this person up, because then that would give it. Look, I honestly believe out of all of them that these sound more legit. They sound more sane than the other ones.
Yeah.
But a little part of me says, well, Chris Chibnall does the insane. So that's where, you know, as I said, 50, fucking 50. I still can't make up my mind, but it's fascinating. So, Marty, do you want to plug yourself, plug anybody out there?
No, there's nobody really to plug. I suppose you could, as I say before, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm sure somebody will throw up the Twitter link. And that's sort of it. Yeah, if I have anything major, I sort of like to tease. I sort of drop the odd hint. But as always, you'll know the full story.
I know. I seen the post up on the Facebook group, and I was like, he's been a right tease there, because you put up the post to say, I have some information, and then I had to go into the post and let people know, yeah, I have it. I'm doing a video on it. Don't worry about it, because people were like, have you seen the new rumors? It was like, it's all in one. Marty's already sent me the stuff, but yeah, I mean. Yeah, but it doesn't matter, man. It hypes it up. I mean, even if people think they're all complete bullshit, every single Reddit rumor, it's keeping the fans fascinated right now. I would say, though, if it was all and every single poster is taking the piss, I'd say shame on you. But it's kept everybody's mind off how bad Doctor Who is.
That's
giving them something to kind of debate. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, again, guys, on Friday, I know you will probably say, we're sick of talking about the rumors. But on Friday, a lot of you didn't get to say what you wanted to say on Friday. So we'll have the Tardis Zone talks. And again, we will be talking all of this. And as I said, by the time we get to Friday, Marty, you never know. Something else.
You never know. That's it.
And then we'll have more stuff to talk about. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself with these Reddit rumors. At the end of the day, that's what they all are at this point, rumors. And I wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want anybody out there to get their hopes up. Remember, it is all rumor and speculation. So please, for your own sake anyway, don't get your hopes pinned on any of these rumors. Just wait and see what happens. It is fascinating to talk about, but I don't want to be getting fans' hopes up that Chris Chibnall's gone and this person's going to be brought in and this is going to happen, because we do not know, okay? We're just reporting on what we've seen and I've read out to you guys. But it's important that you know not to take this to heart, because, you know, you set yourself up. You know, that's what I did with Series 11 when I first started off. I was not used to how this all went. And when I got information, I literally took it all to heart. And I put my videos out there. My early videos are, right? Some of them are like I say, yeah, they're definitely gone, right? Because I definitely did genuinely think they were gone. And I still do believe, to a certain extent, that they did after the Series 11 debacle, that the both of them were willing to step down. And I'm not going to back down on that one. I do believe chaos in Cardiff then obviously happened as well. And I'm not going to back down on that either.
Yeah.
But I always said after that, because I was pulled up on it, I won't mention who pulled me up, but I've mentioned it in past videos back. But I got pulled up on it, and I said, right, okay, fair cop. You're right. I can't get emotional about this. I can't let my personal feelings, cloud me judgment. So when I said it to you guys as well. When I announced when I told you what was going to be happening for the upcoming year, I even said it that when I get the rumors, I'm going to do things differently. And from day one, I've said it's rumor and speculation, and I've always said, make sure you take it with a grain of salt, pinch of salt, whatever, because and that's the way I've been doing them ever since. I don't care what my personal feelings are against Chris Chibnall or anybody else. When I'm handed information, I deal with that information, and that's it. I don't bring the emotions into it. I keep them out, and that's the way it should be. And I've continued that way, and I'll continue that way. And this is why I don't really give a crap what people say about what I do here on this channel. If these people want to believe that I don't have sources or believe that I make it all up, well, then that's their prerogative. They have every right to do that. But you know what? I have every right to not give a flying fuck about whatever you or anybody else has to say. Because at the end of the day, as I said, this is not emotional. This is what I've been given. And I'll put it out there and inform this fandom. And then the fandom can make up their own minds whether they believe it's bullshit or not. And if they do, fair enough. If they don't, fair enough. But I've never said since I said I was going to change the way I put out the rumors and speculation. I've never said it's fact since then. Because it bit me in the arse and I was gutted, right? Because I honestly, firmly believed they were gone, right?
Yep.
And because the information that we'd gotten at the time, and then when the information came back was, well, they were gone, they were willing to give up, but Piers Wenger convinced them to stay. That's what made me sick. Because I'd built people, and I did build people's hopes up, and I will say that, and I did apologize for that. I knew that one would bite me on the ass, and it did. That's why ever since then, I promised you guys that that's the way I was going to be from now on. I was going to do it. I'll get the information, keep me personal gripes out of it, and just put the information out as I see it, and not say that it's fact. Make sure that I always say it's rumor and speculation. And that's the way I'm going to continue to do it. It is the best way to do it. It's funny and ironic now that the very same people that were criticizing me for it are the ones now going around saying that their information is fact. So it does seem to turn like a merry-go-round. But, that's just the way it is. But look, Anton Gallifrey, we'll find out. Anton on Reddit, we'll find out. If I get Anton from my sources in the meantime and all the information that I've given them, we will find out. I'll also hope to have Eddie on from Talk the Doctor at some stage, either this week, maybe the weekend, or next week. But it's definitely happening. We'll obviously get more. Obviously, I'd like to say Eddie's in the know. I mean, the fact that he gets embargoed stuff and has proved it time and time again on Twitter, because he's actually shown after the fact when he's able to show that he got an embargo. So he has showed. So he is in the know. So it'll be interesting to hear from his point of view, right? And he's already made some opinions clear on Twitter as far as I know. But it'll be interesting to get him on a video to actually to tell us what he believes or what his source is telling him is true and could be true and is false, not going to happen. And so it'll be interesting to see what he has to say. So there's a lot. Look, as I said, fascinating time for this fandom. The show might be down the pan, but it's these rumors and speculations. At least there's some fun. Right, Marty has to go. We're gonna head, so I'm gonna play the channel trailer. I'm gonna say good night to you all. Thank you to all the moderators. Thanks to everybody in the chat. And Marty again, 2 hours and 44 minutes. Brilliant. Thank you. But look, it was always going to take ages to talk about. But thanks again for everything you do for this channel. I really do appreciate it. I just want to say it again publicly. I really do appreciate it because I know you can go to other people with this, but you don't. You choose to come here, and I do appreciate that. That really does mean a lot to me. So I want to say thanks for that. And again, it doesn't matter when you get the stuff, just send it to me. And I'll probably be awake anyway, you know me. Okay. So yeah, so we leave it at that, folks. Good night, stay safe, look after yourselves, and I'll see you very, very soon. Here's the channel track.
See you later.
Bye bye.